So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. What if Naruto met a special inhumane creature and got unknown unwanted powers? Movie. Outside of Konoha it was a sunny and hot day, but the trees around Konoha gave some protection against the heat. Under the trees a caravan was heading towards Konoha. It was 5 years after the attack of the nine-tailed fox and Konoha was still under restoration, so the merchants hoped for a good trade. The leader of the caravan was a tall man with brown hair and green eyes. He was looking around amazed by the beauty of the forest. Suddenly he heard a voice. Halt! Out of the shadows of the trees 4 people clad in flak vests and aid appeared. The one who commanded to halt was a tall man with brown eyes and a blonde hair. State your business, he commanded. The leader of the caravan answered to the shinobi. Merchants, Shinobi-san, we came to trade with Konoha. My name is Takeshi Murakawa and I am the representative on behalf of the caravan. The shinobi looked unimpressed by the introduction. His eyes didn't leave Takeshi for a second. Your permit please, he said. Takeshi took the papers out and gave them to the shinobi. The shinobi looked at the papers for a moment, then he said, everything is in order, you may proceed. Then a smile crossed his face and he added, sorry for the inconvenience, it's just that Konoha needs to appear strong and we still didn't fully recovered from the Nine Tails attack, so it's just security measure. By the way, it's the October 10th, so there's a festival tonight, the Nine Tails Festival, you might want to check it out. Then he left hastily. In the meantime, in the caravan, a man with black hair and blue eyes overheard the conversation. A smirk spread on his face as he thought, interesting, very interesting. Line. Konoha, a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, was running around trying to avoid the shinobi who pursued him after he painted the Hokage monument. He was running and his laugh was heard across the street. At the end he ducked under a tree and disappeared from his pursuers. The name of the boy was Uzumaki Naruto, and contrary to the common belief he wasn't stupid at all, but today was his birthday and he really wanted some attention even if it is negative. From there he proceeded to the Hokage's tower where he was greeted by the secretary. He went into the Hokage's room. The room was fairly big with a desk in the middle, a piano behind the door and a sofa on the other side of the room. Behind the desk was seated an old man with white beard and working on paperwork. It was Sarutobi Hiruzen, the guide of shinobi. When Naruto entered, the old man looked up at him, then said with a smile, oh hello Naruto, happy birthday. Let me finish here and then we'll go to Ichiraku's ramen, okay? Naruto's face lit up with a grin on his face. He said, thank you Gigi, thank you. The Hokage smiled. Finishing up fast the rest of the paperwork, he took his hat and together they left the tower. On the way to the ramen stand, Naruto saw the glares the villagers was shooting at him. His mood dumped a bit. He turned to the Hokage. Gigi, do you know why they hate me? He asked. The Hokage only looked at him with a sad smile. People always fear what they don't understand, he replied. Eventually, there is nothing more I can tell you. Naruto's face morphed into a scowl for a moment, but after a second it was gone and he smiled brightly. After that they walked in silence for a few minutes, then Naruto said, one day I will be Hokage and they will all respect me. Hiruzen just looked at him with a smile but said nothing. After several more minutes they went into the ramen stand. Line. It was evening and Naruto was on his way to get orphanage. He went into a side alley to make a shortcut. He was tired and he desperately wanted to sleep. When he came to the middle of the alley he saw a restaurant. Several people was drinking there and some smelled like sake. When Naruto passed by the trash can he looked around as sometimes people was throwing their blunt kunais and shurikens there. Then heard a voice, hey boy, are you hungry? It came from a person with black hair and blue eyes. He tensed, not knowing what he wants with him. The man came closer. Are you hungry boy? Come on in, he said. Naruto reluctantly entered after him. He wasn't hungry but he never says no to free food. Line. Several hours earlier after the caravan entered Konoha and each merchant went to his own deals, the man with the blue eyes and black hair left the caravan and went to a nearby hotel. He registered and after unpacking his belongings he went to see Konoha. The village was lively and the people were having fun in the festival. He went from place to place looking around at the various stands. Then he went to a bar where he tried to learn where he can buy an apartment and place for a store. After some drinks and talk he saw a young boy who walked around the bar and checked the garbage cans. He got up and walked towards him. The boy tensed for a moment, but he came close and asked, hey boy, are you hungry? Come on in. The boy agreed and came after him. Waiter, please, I need a children's plate, or better two, the man said. After several minutes the food was brought. You can eat boy, it's alright. The boy looked at him then started to eat fast. So tell me boy, what were you looking for? He asked. The boy answered nothing special, just kunai and other stuff, a lot of shinobi throwing them here when they come into the restaurant. I see, all right then, eat up, I'll pay, he said. After he paid he asked, what's your name boy? The blonde looked at him then said, Naruto, Uzumaki Naruto, and I think I need to live, Gigi will be worried. The man smiled. I see, all right then, he said, no need to make him worry. Then he got up and left. See you around then, Naruto, he said before leaving. Then Naruto realized something. Hey, he didn't told me his name, he screamed. Naruto Ryu. It was a beautiful day when Naruto woke up. When he remembered how that person treated him, a smile came to his face. Then he remembered he doesn't know the person's name. After washing himself and getting dressed he ate breakfast and went towards the Hokage's tower. He went in. Then he saw from afar the man from yesterday. He came nearer and went to the Hokage's tower. When he came nearer the guard stopped him. State your business, he said sternly. The man answered, Akira Ryu. I was told to come here after applying for citizenship yesterday. For an interview. Here are my papers. He gave the man his papers. The guard looked at the papers. Seems okay. The last room to the left, he said. The man, now known to Naruto as Akira Ryu, went to the left. Naruto went up to the Hokage's office. He went in and sat down on the couch. The Hokage looked up. Naruto, good morning Gigi. You now Gigi, yesterday a person treated me nicely and bought me food for free. And guess what Gigi, I saw him here in the tower 2 minutes ago. The Hokage became stiff. What was his name, he asked. He said to the guard outside his name was Akira Ryu, answered the blonde. I forgot to ask him yesterday. He scratched the back of his head with an embarrassed smile. The Hokage was worried. He didn't knew any Akira Ryu. I will need to check it, he thought. After something like an hour there was a knock on the door. Enter, said the Hokage. A ninja with a long blonde hair came in. Hokage-sama, I have a matter of importance. What is Inoichi? Asked the Hokage. A person just came for an interview after applying for citizenship, and it is someone who I know. Really, and who is it? He asked. His name is Akira Ryu. Akira Ryu again, the Hokage thought. Then he said, and how do you know him exactly? Asked the Hokage. You see, sir, in the Third War my team were ambushed near the land of rivers. Was he one of the enemy? Asked the Hokage. No sir, said the Yamanaka. Actually he saved us out of nowhere. He came with flames. He really saved us then, sir. Bring him in, Inoichi. I want to talk to him. The Yamanaka bowed and left the room. After several minutes he came in with Akira. Akira bowed to the Hokage. So you are Akira Ryu. I heard what you did to help my shinobi in the war. So why don't you tell me more about yourself, said the old Hokage. Akira looked at Naruto and said, some things are confidential. He looked at Naruto again. The Hokage looked for a moment at Naruto. Naruto, can you leave please for several minutes? Maybe go to the ramen shop. What do you say? Naruto nodded. Yes. Jijithan left with a glee. After all, he doesn't have free ramen every day. Akira opened his eyes wide. Just one moment, the Hokage. Jiji, he shouted in surprise. The Hokage looked at him. So, Taki said. Then he heard him say, he is just like his father, isn't he? Said Akira. The Hokage's face became stern. How do you know? He asked. Let me tell you about myself first, then you will understand. First, as you know, my name is Akira Ryu. I am 54 years old. I had one sister. Her name was Hikari Ryu. She married a man with the name of Usui Namikaze and they had a child, Minato. In other words, I am Naruto's granduncle. My family comes from an old clan. We are the last of them. I was trained with my bloodline limit from young age as I activated it in an accident. I wasn't an official shinobi, but when the Third War started I got a letter from Minato. He told me about the war and asked me to help where I can. So I was fighting on Konoha side, and once I came across 3 of your shinobi and he was one of them. He finished. The Hokage looked at him. And where were you for the last 5 years? He asked. I was in a far lands. I am a merchant, you know. I met Jiraiya some weeks ago and he told me about the fox and Naruto. Okay, said the Hokage, we will check your background. You may leave. He bowed to the Hokage. Hi Hokage-sama, he said, and left. He saw Naruto at Ichiraku's. He turned to Naruto. Naruto, before you go I want to give you an advice. When we walked today people gave you cold stares and I saw how it's affected you. I just wanted to tell you that what they think isn't important. What's important is that those who care about you acknowledge you. You have Hokage-sama, you have me, and so don't let those fools to get you down, okay? Naruto smiled and nodded his head. He will remember those words forever. The Hokage tower. So what do we have on him? Asked the Hokage. The Anbu spoke well. It seems we have a large file actually, part from the 4th Hokage and part from Jiraiya-sama. It's confirming that the 4th had an uncle with the name of Akira Ryu, and indeed he fought on our side, and indeed he is a merchant, finished the Anbu. I see, hummed the Hokage. So a background check done. We will need to read his mind, Inoichi? I will, Hokage-sama, answered the Yamanaka after a day. They scanned his mind and found no lie there. Good, now only the talk to the council, said Hiruzen. There is a meeting in 3 days, said the secretary. Okay, said Hiruzen. 3 days later, the council chamber. Danzo was fuming with anger. And you are just going to trust him? Hiruzen nodded. Of course, he will be on probation for the next 3 years. It's a mistake, Hiruzen, said Danzo. He doesn't even want to take the oath. But he did promise to defend Konoha, and he is strong shinobi, and it's not like Naruto will leave with him, said Hiruzen. Now for the vote, the secretary announced who is for giving one Akira Ryu the citizenship. More than 2/3 of the council, both the civilian and shinobi, agreed. Who is against? The others raised their hands. By the vote of majority, one Akira Ryu is granted citizenship on probation for 3 years, announced the secretary. 3 hours later, Akira was given his citizenship. He bowed. Hokage-sama, I thank you. I have one request though. The Hokage raised his eyebrows. And what will that be? I want to train Naruto in myself. Okay, said the Hokage, on one condition only, till after the academy. Of course, Hokage-sama. He bowed and left Konoha. Naruto yawned, looked around the streets. He was walking outside together with the Hokage to Ichiraku Ramen. Flashback: Naruto walked into the Hokage tower. He was bored, so he thought to hang around with the Hokage. When he entered the Hokage's room, the old man smirked. "Ah, Naruto, it's good you've come. I actually wanted to see you today. So are you still hanging around with Akira-san?" Naruto chuckled. "Yay, Gigi a lot. He is very nice. He gives me ramen from time to time," he said with huge grin. The Hokage was happy for the boy. Most of the people were really mean to him, so finding another person who actually cared about him made the old Hokage really happy. "That's good, Naruto. I am glad for you." Then the Hokage turned serious. "Listen, Naruto, in the next few days I will have very important meetings and you can't come in and disturb them. I will tell Weasel and Dog Anbu to look after you, okay?" "Yay, sure, Gigi. Weasel is very nice and so is Dog," replied the blonde. "If something will come up I can always go to Akira Oji-san." He smiled, and so did the Hokage. Then the Hokage asked Naruto, "Do you want to go to Ichiraku?" Naruto's smile grew even bigger. "Thanks, Gigi, of course." Flashback: and now he and the Hokage were heading to the ramen stand. Naruto couldn't stop thinking about delicious ramen and didn't pay attention to his surroundings. "Boom, ouch, look where you are going," Naruto screamed. Then he looked up. "Takeshi, I am sorry I didn't see you there." Takeshi got up with a grin. "Naruto, hey, it's good to see you. Sorry for bumping into you." "Nah, that's okay, it's my fault," said Naruto. "By the way, do you want to come with me and Gigi to the ramen stand? It's okay, right, Gigi?" Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled at the boy antics. "Of course it is. By the way, Naruto, who is your friend?" "Oh yeah, I didn't tell you, Gigi. He is my friend, my only friend actually, in the orphanage. His name is Takeshi." "Nice to meet you, Takeshi. It's good to see Naruto has a friend," the Hokage replied with a smile. After that they entered the ramen stand, and so the day passed by. After Naruto and Takeshi finished eating, the Hokage paid for their bills and bid them good evening. They went to the park and sat on the swings. After several minutes of playing, they jumped down and started to play tag. Naruto was running after Takeshi. They run along the park. Then Naruto saw a group of older kids bully a young girl. The girl had bluish hair and lavender eyes. The kids were teasing her for her eyes. Naruto hated bullies. He was bullied a lot, so he ran towards them. "Hey, Uteme, what do you think you are doing? Didn't your mother teach you not to make girls cry?" Then he charged at them, and with a fist to the face he toppled the biggest of the boys on the floor. The others charged at him with hail-o kicks and punches. After several seconds, Naruto was on the floor bleeding and panting. The older kids looked at him with disdain. "Ha, freak, you've got what you deserve. Freaks defending each other. Come on guys, let's go." Naruto got up and came close to the girl. "Hey, are you okay? My name is Naruto Uzumaki and that is my friend Takeshi. And you are?" "Hinata Hyuga," she answered shyly, her face red like tomato. "So Hinata, are you coming here usually?" "Yes, sometimes." Takeshi came closer. "Do you want to play with us, Hinata? Do you want to be our friend?" "Friends?" she asked. "Do you really want to be my friends? I never had any." Of course, said Takeshi. Common, let's play. And so the three children played together. They quickly become good friends, and for the next 3 days they played together. Line. Night. 3 days later, 3 masked people approached the Hyuga compound silently. They got to the room where a girl with bluish hair slept peacefully. They approached her silently. One gouged her mouth, the other putted her fast into a sack. Then they left the compound in hurry. They left the boundaries of the village and headed toward Kumo. Suddenly one of them screamed in pain. A kunai pierced him in the heart. They looked around and saw 4 Hyuga chasing after them, 2 with the caged bird seal and 2 other without. A battle started. The leader of the Kumo shinobi attacked the apparent leader with a kick but was blocked. Second later he was lifted from the ground by a vicious kick to his solar plexus. The shinobi made a somersault in the air and made hand signs. Raiden. Lightning bolt technique. A bolt of lighting flew towards the Hyuga, but he jumped back. Then he charged, and in a moment he was standing near the Kumo shinobi. You are standing in the range of my divination 8 trigrams 64 palms. Then he started punching him with the technique, closing every tenketsu and finally killing him. Hinata woke up and crawled out of the sack. What she saw burned into her memory forever. She saw 4 Hyuga fighting against 2 Kumo shinobi. She saw her uncle Hizashi killing a Kumo shinobi with the 64 palms technique. Then she saw a shadow behind him finishing a hand signs Raiden. Lightning blade. She saw Hizashi's terrified face as the hand came closer. Then someone jumped between them, getting pierced by the technique but at the same time attacking the Kumo shinobi in the heart, stopping his heart, actively killing him. The man was no other than Hiyashi Hyuga, the clan head. Hizashi looked surprised. Hiyashi, why? Why did you sacrifice yourself for me? I thought you hated me. A sad smile adorned Hiyashi's face. Hate you? Never, brother, I never hated you. Just because I couldn't show that to you doesn't mean I don't care about you. Gay gay gay. I tried to change the Hyuga from within. For this purpose I had to maintain the look of a traditional Hyuga head clan. I am so sorry, Hizashi, for everything. Please promise me that you will support Hinata and help her unite the clan. Hizashi started crying. Please, brother, I promise I will do whatever I can to support her, but please, for her sake, please stay with us. Please, brother, I love you. Hiyashi's face lit up. I love you too, brother, I am sorry. Hinata watched terrified as her father fallen to his knees. She screamed, Father. A smile lit up Hiyashi's face. Hinata, I am so sorry for not showing you support. I love you, Hinata. Please be strong for Hanabi and your mother. Please defend the leaf, and I believe that you are the one who will unite our clan. I am so proud of you, Hinata. Be strong. And with those words Hiyashi closed his eyes forever. Father. She cried, I love you to father. I promise I will be strong. Her eyes grew cold. I will make you proud. I will defend the leaf, and I will make your wish true. I will unite the clan, even if I'll have to kill the elders. I swear it. She then started crying. Hizashi came to her and gave her a hug. I am sorry, Hinata. It's all my fault. If I wasn't so careless. His eyes were wet. Uncle Hizashi, it's not your fault, she said. It's Kumo's fault, and I swear I will avenge him. And I will help you, he said. I will be by your side, and so the entire branch family. She hugged him back, and they took Hiyashi's body back to the village. Naruto came to the playing ground with Takeshi. They both waited for Hinata like every day, but she didn't show up. Naruto waited for another hour, and when she didn't show up he became worried. We have to check on her, common Takeshi. When they came to the Hyuga compound, they came near the entrance. Naruto went to the guards. Sorry, but do you know where is Hinata? He asked. The guard looked at him. Lady Hinata is busy. I am sorry, children, but her father Lord Hiyashi died last night. His funeral is in the evening. Naruto paled and fell to the floor. It can be she. She lost her father. His eyes started to tear down. Naruto, we have to leave, but we will meet her in the funeral. But Naruto just screamed with rage and ran away. He ran till he came to Akira's store. He knocked on the door. Akira opened the door. Naruto, it's nice to see you. What brings you here? Come on in. Naruto went in. Akira, have you ever lost someone? He asked. Why do you ask? Is it about Hiyashi Hyuga, your friend? Father. How did you know? It's kinda obvious that is the only one who died. It is so frustrating. Why did he had to die? Who killed him? Naruto, calm down. I'll tell you everything. Okay, just calm down. Naruto calmed down a bit. I am waiting. Akira-san. Akira sighed. You see, Naruto, yesterday night 3 Kumo shinobi kidnapped Hinata. Naruto eyes grew wide at this. Rage started to boil under the surface. Her father tried to save her and succeeded, but sacrificed himself for his brother. Listen, Naruto, Hinata will not be the same. She saw it. Akira took some air. Naruto, that is a life of a shinobi. If you want to be Hokage you have to know that people die. Shinobi aren't heroes. Naruto, they lead a hard life. Naruto growled, I don't care, I will kill every last Kumo shinobi. In his anger a red chakra started to come out of him. His eyes became red with a slit. Akira made quick hand signs, ninja technique. Chakra suppressing ropes. From around him ropes erupted and restrained Naruto. Naruto thrashed ANF, tried to free himself but to no avail. After several minutes he started calm down. His eyes were wide. Akira-san, are you a shinobi? Akira face turned serious. Listen to me Naruto, if you will calm down and listen, I will tell you the whole truth, will you listen? Naruto nodded, his face full of anticipation. I will start from the beginning. First, indeed I am a shinobi. Second, yes, the Hokage knows. Third, what I am going to reveal you is a secret so big if anyone will know I told you I will be executed, so please don't tell anyone. Do you agree? Naruto thought about this for a moment, scratched high head. Yeah, I agree, he answered at last. Very well, but don't disturb me until I am finished. The first thing you need to know is what is a shinobi. Naruto looked at Akira with strange expression. What does it has to do with anything, he asked. Akira looked at him. You will understand after I will finish my explanation. Naruto thought for a moment. Shinobi are cool heroes with superpowers. Wrong, Naruto, shinobi are not heroes. Shinobi are soldiers for their village. They kill, destroy, lie. No, we are not heroes. In other words, we are human tools, meaning that for the village we will sacrifice our own humanity and lives. We will become the worsted monsters, all for the sake of our loved ones. Killing? Gasped Naruto. But isn't it wrong, really, Naruto? Wrong? Tell me, if someone wants to harm your friends, let's say Takeshi or maybe Hinata, or maybe the Hokage and the Ichirakus, what will you do him? Will you let them be harmed? Or will you deal with them? Naruto sunk into his thoughts. I will deal with them, but I can just defeat them, no need to kill, right? Wrong. If you want kill them, they will come back later, prepared, and then your loved ones may be harmed. Do you see my point, Naruto? Naruto noted. Good, very good, though don't understand me wrong, killing is immoral, and I didn't say you have to become emotionless. No, not at all, but as a shinobi we have to sometimes sacrifice our humanity. The Hokage, for example, he killed a lot of people, but he is a very nice person. That what I mean, is it clear? He asked again. Naruto nodded again. Alright then, the second thing you need to know is why do people hate you? Naruto eyes widened. You know why? Akira only nodded, his face grim. The reason I didn't tell you until now because I was afraid you will tell someone and I will be executed. So can you hold a secret? Naruto nodded. Okay then, tell me Naruto, do you feel sometimes that your anger overwhelms you, like several minutes ago? Naruto nodded. It's all connected. Now tell me what happened on the 10th of October 5 years ago. The fourth Hokage killed the nine-tailed fox, he replied. Very good, but let me tell you something, it's a lie. Naruto eyes widened. Wah. Let me finish. Akira cut him. You see, a tiled beast cannot be killed, it's a mass of sentient chakra, so you can't kill it, its energy. So the fourth Hokage done the only thing he could, he sealed it into a newborn baby. Naruto's face become horrified. It's me, isn't it, that why they hate me? I am the Nine Tails, aren't I? No Naruto, you aren't the Nine Tails, you are Naruto Uzumaki, the container of the fox. Tell me, is a container with diamonds will be called diamond? No, of course not. The villagers are just too afraid to see that. But why me? Asked Naruto with pain in his voice. And why didn't the Hokage tell me before? Why did he lied to me? Let me explain it to you, said Akira. You see, the Hokage loves you with his whole heart. You're like a grandson to him. He thought that by not telling you he will make sure that you will have a good and regular childhood. But he was wrong. He thought that by making a law that anyone who will talk about it will be killed, then the children your age will act normal with you. He never thought they will tell their children not to play with you and act hostile. But you have to be thankful, cause in any other village you would be treated like a weapon. A Jinjuriku, which means a person with a biju sealed within him, is the highest weapon that a shinobi village can have. The Hokage prevented it, and you should be thankful, but from a shinobi point of view it was a mistake. Do you know why? Naruto shook his head. Because a shinobi is a weapon of the village. For the village he will sacrifice his humanity, and letting the emotions endanger the village can ultimately bring the destruction and death of our loved ones. Though it's not to say that we don't have emotions. Cause in the day you will lose the emotions, you are not worthy of being a shinobi. Naruto nodded in affirmative. As for why were you chosen? The answer is easy. The fourth Hokage was a noble man. He couldn't ask someone else for something he couldn't do himself, so he done the greatest sacrifice for a shinobi. He sealed the beast in his own son. Naruto's eyes grew wide at this. I am the son of the fourth Hokage. Why didn't Gigi told me? And how do you know? You see Naruto, your father had a lot of enemies. It was for your own safety. As for how do I know? Well, you see Minato's father was Namikaze, but his mother was Hikari Ryu, my sister. Yes, Naruto, I am your grand-uncle. Grand-uncle? Like for real? Indeed I am, and my entire reason for being here is because of you. Now listen, Naruto. Think about it and ask the Hokage what does it mean to be a shinobi. I will train you, but remember it's a secret. Naruto, still shocked from all the revelations, gaped for a moment. Then he said, I will think about it and I will answer you later. Now I have to go to the funeral. Okay then, Naruto, go. After Naruto left, Akira thought to himself, good, I put the chakra concealment seals, otherwise I would have the entire Konoha shinobi force here. Flashback end. Naruto saw Hinata near the grave. He wanted to go help her, comfort her, but he couldn't. Then he felt two hands on his shoulders. He looked back and saw Weasel. Go Naruto, she needs friends right now. He nodded and moved forward. He came close to her and put his hand on her shoulder. She looked up, her eyes cold. Naruto's anger raised. It's their fault. He thought it's Kumo's fault. Hinata is so cold. I swear they will pay. He looked at Hinata. You are not alone. Hinata, me and Takeshi are your friends, and I promise you I will help you in any way I can. Hinata's eyes were still cold, but not as much. Thanks Naruto, thanks for coming. He smiled sadly and went out of the cemetery. The Hokage's tower. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, god of shinobi, felt that he is growing old. The death of Hiyashi Hyuga was a blow to the village, and the Raikage demanded a meeting with him on neutral grounds. He will have to go, so he summoned the 4 strongest shinobis he had. After several minutes there was a knock on the door. Enter, he said. 4 people came in, 2 in Enbu masks and 2 without. Good, you're here. Guy, Fugaku, Dog, Weasel, we move out an hour. The Raikage is angry, so I called you the best of the village. Are you ready to accept the mission? Hi Hokage-sama, good, meet me in an hour near the western gate. After they left, Hiruzen got up and took all what he needed. The meeting place was the Land of Waves, a 3 days journey in a fast speed. 1 hour later the Hokage and the 4 shinobi left from the western gate towards the Land of Wave. Naruto went to the Hokage's tower. When he came close he was told that the Hokage left for several days, so with nothing else to do Naruto went to his favorite spot on top of the head of the second Hokage. Sitting there he started to think about what Akira told him. He wasn't sure what to think. Did he still wanted to be Hokage? And what of his father? So he was now Naruto Namikaze, but he couldn't tell anyone cause it will endanger Akira. Speaking of which, he now has an uncle. Can you believe that? Just great. So many things, but he knew he has to make a decision about his future. To be a shinobi, a tool to defend his home and friends, but tool nonetheless, or to be a civilian, just a person with a regular life, maybe even happy but nonetheless powerless to defend his friends. After several minutes his head started to hurt and he chose to postpone his decision till Hell talked to Gigi. With that said, he left the monument and walked in town. The Hokage and his companions approached the border of the Land of Waves. Be ready for ambush, they nodded. The 2 Anbu jumped on the nearest trees and vanished. The other 2 flanked the Hokage and marched to the meeting place. Near the shore waited for them the Raikage with 2 shinobis as well. The Raikage was a big person with weights on his hands, dark skin and dirty blonde hair. When he saw the Hokage he tensed. He didn't expect the Hokage to come with the head of the Uchiha clan. After all, he didn't really wanted war right now, only few years after the Great Ninja War. He hoped to intimidate with the 8 Tails Jinchuriku, but seeing the head of the Uchiha clan famed for their ability to control the bijus, his advantage was diminished. The 2 cages came closer to each other. The third Hokage said to the Raikage, it's good you came, I thought you will be too afraid. Hiruzen's eyes narrowed. What did you want? I'll let you know that one of your shinobi killed a clan head while trying to kidnap his daughter, so what is it that you can possibly want with us? The Raikage was surprised also. He knew that the Hokage was famous in the war, but he heard that he became soft. He didn't expect that. It's unbalanced him a bit. I am here to demand the one who killed my shinobi. If he won't be brought before me in 8 days we will call a war on Konoha, he said. The look on the Hokage's face became murderous. A war, Raikage? Let me tell you, you're lucky I was able to restrain the Hyuga not to start a war, otherwise you and your pathetic village would have been wiped out of the face of the earth. So listen to me, Raikage, I have nothing to fear of you. Then he raised his voice. If anything like that will happen ever again, I swear I will raise your village to the ground, so live or else you will pay the price of your fullishnes. The Raikage's bodyguards took their weapons out. The Raikage became furious. You dare to talk to me like that, you tree hugger, I will take you myself. He roared and wanted to lunge on the Hokage, but his bodyguard, a guy with blonde hair and shades, stopped him. Hey bro, if you attack and him you smack, you'll start a war we can't afford. He tried to rap. The Raikage saw the smile on the Hokage's face and stopped himself. We won't fight now, but Kumo won't let it slide. We will remember, he hissed with anger, and they left. The Hokage released a breath. Well, that was harsh, but that was the only way. People like him understand only a show of power. After they left the border, the two Anbu came from the woods. No problems, Hokage-sama. Good, let's return to the village. Good job. 3 days later. We finally returned, said the Hokage. Indeed, Hokage-sama, now please with your permission I have a clan to attend to, said Fugaku. Of course Fugaku-san, you may live, and so are you, Guy. Guy bowed to the Hokage. Of course Hokage-sama, you are maybe old, but the fires of youth burn deeply in you, sir, if I can say so myself. He shouted and ran away from them. Today's youth, he told himself. You two go have some rest. I need you both to watch after Naruto tonight. Hi Hokage-sama, they said together and vanished via sunshine. The Hokage went back to his tower. It was still early, and the tower was mostly empty. The problem was that only mostly. As he entered his room, he saw a young blonde boy sleep on the couch. When the door opened, the boy jumped from the couch. Gigi, you finally returned. Naruto, what are you doing in my office? Asked the Hokage. Naruto looked embarrassed. I am so sorry, Gigi, but I have something to talk to you about. At first the Hokage thought that Naruto was playing him. Really, Naruto, what is it? Do you want ramen? He chuckled. No, Gigi, it's something that disturbs me greatly. His face was grim. What is it, Naruto? The Hokage said in a worried voice. Did something happen? Gigi, what's means being a shinobi? I mean, if that was only fun and respect, why then his father died? Why always say I will be Hokage, but I don't even know what is a regular shinobi. The Hokage thought for a moment. Listen, Naruto, you are correct. Being a shinobi doesn't mean fun and cool jutsu. A shinobi is a person who will do whatever necessary for his village. He will kill and lie. He will become a demon for the village, but at the same time he is a person who loves have friends and cares, and because of that he will do anything for the village. For example, the fourth Hokage, we see him as a hero, a man who saved our village. But have you ever thought that for the safety of Konoha he killed hundreds of people? In IWA he is known as the Yellow Demon. They are still terrified from his name. Do you understand, Naruto? And a Hokage is much more. He has the entire village as his responsibility. Every man I send on a mission, I know that maybe he won't return, and when they don't I feel it on my conscience, but for the good of the village I sacrifice my wishes and emotions in sending them. Now do you understand? Hi Gigi, said the blonde, but I need to think if I actually want to be a shinobi. Hiruzen looked at him. Good, Naruto, it's something you should think about. Did you want anything else? No, Gigi, thanks. I'll see you later. Goodbye. He left the office and went to Ichiraku Ramen. After 3 bowls of ramen, he asked the vendor, Tucci-san, do you think shinobi are heroes? Tucci looked at him strangely. Well, not exactly. It depends, I guess. Why? No reason, just asking, he answered, paid, and left to his favorite spot on the second Hokage's head. After something like an hour, he felt a hand on his shoulder. What is it, Naruto? What disturbs you? The weasel-masked Anbu asked. Well, Weasel, you see, I talked to the Hokage about what means being a shinobi, and he said that they aren't heroes. They do terrible things for the village. He said they throwing their own humanity for Konoha, because for a shinobi the village is the first family, and now I don't know what to do. Should I pursue the path of a shinobi or not? Naruto was so caught in his speech he didn't saw Weasel's eyes widening and then growing detriment. To tell you the truth, Naruto, I don't know, only you can choose, but just so you know I agree with each word you heard from the Hokage. But I believe that whatever you will choose you will be good at, he said. Naruto looked at him with wide eyes. In his mind he thought, I want to be like you, someone who cares for others but will do whatever necessary. Out loud he said, thanks a lot, Itachi-Nisan. Itachi's eyes grew wide. How did you? Naruto laughed. I saw you piping without the mask in the hot springs. Then he said, actually I wasn't sure, but your voice, hair, and those red eyes made me think it's you. Itachi facepalmed. Ignorant child, all the Uchiha has those eyes, he thought. One day later, Naruto entered the Hokage's office. Gigi, I decided I want to become shinobi, he said. The Hokage smiled. Okay, you will enter the academy next year. So much like his father, he thought. Line, Naruto run to Akira's house. After entering he came close to him. Akira, I made my decision, please train me in the way of the shinobi. Akira, I made my decision, I want to be a shinobi. Akira smiled. Really Naruto, are you sure? It will be a long and harsh training, are you sure you are ready? Yeah Akira, like never before. He exclaimed. Akira took his hand and showed him a back door. Officially Naruto, that is my storehouse, and officially though, he said, and opened the door. Naruto looked with awe. That's amazing, he said. He saw several training dummies and even a little arena. There was tone of weapons and scrolls. What is this? He asked, awe in his voice. This Naruto is my personal training ground, and here I will train you. Oh, before I forget, your cover story is that I pay you for helping me in the storeroom, okay? Yes Akira-sensei, but Akira-sensei, am I not too young to start training? Not at all. You see Naruto, it's a tradition of the Ryu clan to start training their children in the age of 5. That is why we are not very tall, but our training has a lot of advantages. It's just another thing to sacrifice for becoming a better shinobi, but for you it's won't matter cause of the fix, it's won't hinder your growth, if you will eat right, that is. Oh, and because of the regeneration from the fox your training will be even harder than usual. Now if you have any questions ask now, and tomorrow we will start our training, okay? Yeah okay. Actually I have few questions first. Can I be called a Ryu? Akira chuckled. Only inside here it has to stay a secret. Okay, now second, what is the ropes you used on me? Those were a chakra suppressing ropes, created by our clan to contain prisoners. I will tell you about it when you will be older. Okay, my last question. You only told me about my father but not my mother, why? Okay Naruto, your mother's name was Uzumaki Kushina. I never met her in person, only from your father's letters. That why I didn't tell you, cause I don't know. Okay, thanks Akira-sensei, I'll see you tomorrow. Yes Naruto, be here at 8:30 tomorrow, okay? And don't forget to tell the Hokage that you will be working with me, okay? Okay, see you, replied the blonde and bounced out of the store. Flashback. And I wasn't ready for this. I mean 3 hours of reading and now 5 of taijutsu training. I still have 2 more hours, oh gosh. You're doing great Naruto. This style is known as the Dragon Flame. It's actually used with the ability of our clan. The point of this style is to coat your hands in chakra through the Kiki Genkai manipulation, and every time you attack the enemy you burn him as well. I'll show you how it's done right after that. His hand was coated with a substance. You cannot do this right now, but the style is useful even without them. Eventually I will teach you this as well. After 2 more hours Naruto was exhausted. Thanks Akira-sensei, but you are a slave driver. You have to learn to endure Naruto, it's the only way. Tomorrow at the same time. Then he took 4 bracelets with strange symbols on them. This Naruto are weights created by Fuinjutsu, 1 for each hand and leg. Put it on and don't take them down, it will be painful, but thanks to the fox no permanent damage will be done and it will only make you stronger and faster, understand? Okay, good night Akira-sensei. Naruto was barely moved with the weights, but he endured and went home. Good night Naruto-chan, Akira said quietly and closed the door. Hyuga compound. Hinata. Hyuga was training. It was dark already, but Hinata was still training. Her mother was worried. The only thing beside training was talking about a way to unite the clan. She understood her daughter's pain, but this was very unhealthy for her. She sighed. Hinata, it's time to eat and sleep. Okay mother. Hinata went in and so Neji Onisan, come, the food is ready. Neji was a prodigy, everyone said so, but when he looked at his cousin training he knew that he won't be match. It's inspired him to train harder for her sake. 1 year later, hand, torso, head, abdomen, hand, solar plexus, groin. Naruto was moving in the katas quickly with speed and precision. Hello again, said Akira. Naruto cursed. Damn, I got distracted, he thought. After another 30 minutes Akira stopped him. Good job. You learned the style in a good level for your age. Your weights are rather heavy. Good, you becoming better. How is your reading? Not bad sensei, I am finishing the book about Land of Fire politics. That really good Naruto. Now tomorrow you start the academy. Do you remember what we talked about? Yes Akira-sensei, he remembered that talk. Flashback. It was another training day. Naruto was training with the katas. After several minutes Akira came in. Hello Naruto, I want to talk to you. What is it Akira-sensei? Well Naruto, in 3 months you will start the academy, and although you are smart and on good level I don't want you to show it to anyone. Do you know why? Naruto nodded. Yes Akira-sensei, you taught me that the most important weapons of a shinobi is his mind and deception, so by not showing anyone my abilities I will have advantage, right? Indeed Naruto, and so I need you to start play pranks again, and in the academy you will play the dope. You will sleep in the lessons, disturb them a bit and skip as well. You can come here and we will train. Speaking of training, we will start training at night when you will start going to the academy, okay? Sure Akira-sensei, no problem, was the boy's reply. Good Naruto, now you will learn how to use your chakra in the academy. After that I will start training you in chakra control and manipulation, understood? He nodded again. Okay, then let's resume the training. Flashback end. In those 3 months he trained harder than before and played a lot of pranks. He was dubbed the prankster from hell, and so after finishing today training he went to sleep early. On the way Naruto saw one of his few friends, Shikimaru. Hey Shikimaru, he shouted, how are you doing? Shikimaru turned around. Troublesome, he said silently. What's up Naruto, he asked. Are you ready for the academy? Well, it's too troublesome, but yeah, that troublesome woman didn't left me another choice. Alright Shikimaru, good night, I'll see you there. Naruto went to the orphanage first to visit his friend Takeshi, and ask him if he going this year to the academy. He went into the orphanage and knocked on Takeshi's door. Oi Takeshi, are you there? Takeshi opened the door. Oh Naruto, what up? Nothing special, just come to ask if you coming tomorrow to the academy. Nope, said Takeshi with a sad voice. The matron said I will be going next year. Oh sorry, said Naruto and scratched his hair. Well, I guess I'll see you around then, huh? Yeah, I guess so, see you around. Naruto, good night. Good night Takeshi. After that Naruto went to his apartment and drifted to sleep. A day later Naruto woke up and looked at the alarm clock. I need to get up, it's the first day in the academy. He got up, dressed fast and walked outside and walked to the academy. After he entered he went into class wearing bright orange jumpsuit and goggles. Yeah, I look like a dope for sure, he thought. He looked around him for the final touch of the dope. I need to find an abusive crush. Him, who will I choose, he thought to himself. He looked around and saw a girl with large forehead and pink hair. She was fawning on the Uchiha. Sasuke-kun, you are so cool. Naruto smiled. Bingo. He thought. He came close to her. Hello pretty lady, I am the awesome Naruto Uzumaki, the next Hokage, and I am way better than that broody. By the way, what's your name? He asked loudly. She looked at him with disgust. Sasuke-kun is not broody, it's just all the Uchihas are so cool, and you are trash. What idiot is wearing such a disgusting jumpsuit? Huh? Leave me alone. But what's so great about him? Uchiha, that Uchiha, this I don't understand. Because you are dope, she said angrily and left. Naruto sat down on his place and waited for the teacher. After 5 minutes the teacher entered and on his head fell a container with orange color. The class started to laugh. Who done it? He asked. Everyone pointed on Naruto. The teacher looked at him. You will pay for this. He went out to change, and when he returned, carefully checking for more color bombs, he started to speak. My name is Himura Dozo, you can call me Himura Sensei. I will be your instructor for the rest of the year. This year we will learn shuriken and kunai throwing. Chakra will be next year. This year we will learn the theory. Now then, introduction. He finished. The children started to introduce themselves. The girl with the pink hair introduced herself, Sakura Haruno. And so on. After the introduction were over, the bell rung. That it for today, see you tomorrow for a full day. Everyone left and so did Naruto. He saw Hinata leaving. Hinata, wait, he said. She looked at him. Naruto, if you are going to laze the year, don't disturb me, I have a lot what to do, she said with a cold tone. His eyes widened and tears escaped from them. But Hinata, aren't we friends? Why? He asked with pained voice. I am sorry Naruto, I don't have time for playing games, I have to be strong to protect my clan, she answered and left. Naruto went to Akira's shop, another thing to sacrifice for the power to protect. He entered the shop and closed the door behind. 1 year later, Naruto, age 7, right hand, solar plexus, duck, groin, parry, left hand, duck, swipe legs. Naruto was training another kata. It was a very advanced one and soon he will finish the style, although he still needs to perfect it. Great job Naruto. I believe that in half year you will finish the style, but you will always need to practice. Now hand me the weights, I need to readjust them. Naruto gave them to him. Akira adjusted with chakra. After we will finish with the style and you will unlock the chakra, we will train in the fire affinity. Now go to sleep, you will need it. Naruto went to the Hokage tower. He entered with a loud oi Gigi, how are you doing? The old Hokage smiled when he heard Naruto's voice. Nothing from yesterday. Naruto, why? Naruto snickered. Just asking, he said and sat on the couch. When I will be Hokage, I'll get a more comfortable couch. The Hokage laughed. Be sure to do that. Naruto, in his mind, he thought Naruto playing his part good. Naruto, you don't have to pretend in front of me, he said. He looked at the blonde. He heard a light snoring and so Naruto sleeping on the couch. Sleep well Naruto. After several minutes he heard a knock. Enter, he said. The man who entered was a teen with a weasel mask. Oh Itachi, it's good to see you. Do you have some good news for me? At the couch Naruto woke up carefully but playing the sleeping act. I am sorry Hokage-sama, my news aren't great, the clan planning a coup in 1 year time. I am sorry Hokage-sama. The Hokage smiled sadly. A sigh escaped from his lips. Thanks Itachi, if you will have news for me please inform me. Of course Hokage-sama, if it will be necessary I will do that sir. I hope it wouldn't come to that. The Hokage said you are a true shinobi of the leaf Itachi, please be careful. Of course Hokage-sama, he said and left. After that Naruto fell asleep again. When he woke up on the next morning he was still on the couch with a blanket. 1 year later, after another chakra controlling session with Akira and 3 hours of taijutsu, Naruto was exhausted. For the last year he finished learning the style and now was training to perfect it. After unlocking chakra in the academy, Akira started his training with intensive chakra control. He then expanded his training by training him more time. Naruto could already drench a leaf, stake it to every part of his body, but he knew he is still very far. He left and went straight home. On the way home he saw Kakashi Hatake, a Junin, going around with an orange book, giggling in a perverted manner. When he came home he fell asleep. Morning, after getting dressed and a quick breakfast, he went to the academy. Everything was the same, or so it seems, but he felt that something wasn't right, something was missing. He looked around the class, then it hit him like lightning. Uchiha Sasuke wasn't there. Now he became worried. After all he knew about the coup, so can it be that Sasuke and the other Uchiha are getting ready for it right now? He came close to Sakura. Hey Sakura, he said. What is it, dope? She asked him. Do you know where is Sasuke? He asked. She looked at him strangely. You didn't hear? She asked. Didn't hear what? Yesterday night the entire Uchiha clan were massacred by Itachi Uchiha, all except Sasuke. Naruto eyes widened. So Itachi, that is that you talked to the Hokage. You are an amazing shinobi Itachi. Such sacrifice and devotion. The village is your first family. You Itachi are my idol, and one day I will become like you, devoted to the village as a true shinobi, ready to sacrifice not only your humanity but your family itself. Only thanks to you I understand what truly means to be a shinobi. He thought to himself, indeed there aren't any heroes, we aren't heroes. He finished his thought and went back to his seat. 2 weeks later Naruto walked around Konoha. After a while he came near the Hyuga compound. He saw some sort of preparation, so he went close to the guards. Sorry, but what's happening here? You now just curious, he asked. The guard looked at him with a smile. Oh, it's okay. Tonight Lady Hinata is getting betrothed to her cousin Neji. She said it's time to unite the clan, and that is the best way for it. The caged bird seals will be taken down after tonight. Indeed, it's a glorious day for the Hyuga, he finished. Naruto smiled. So she keeps her promise to her dad, sacrificing her filings for the clan. She is admirable Kunwachi, he thought. He thanked the guard and left back to Akira's store. When he entered he saw Akira getting ready to leave, so he moved closer to him. Akira, where are you going? He asked. To the Hokage Tower. Naruto, I need to go for another trip to the capital of the Land of Fire, and I want you to come with me, answered Akira and moved towards the Hokage Tower. Naruto ran to his side and together they entered the Hokage's office. When they entered, Hiruzen was slightly surprised. Why did they come together? Akira-san. Naruto-kun, what happened? Is everything okay? Ji asked, worried. Akira smiled. No Hokage-sama, everything is great, thanks. I came to ask your permission to take Naruto with me to the capital of fire. I need his help. If it's necessary I will pay for an escort mission. Hiruzen thought for a moment, then answered, okay, I have a good Junin to send with you, but be careful and don't let anything to happen to Naruto, understood? He asked. Hi Hokage-sama, but just a question, who is the Junin? The Hokage smiled. Tiger, summon Kakashi Hatake. Immediately he said to the Anbu. Hi Hokage-sama, the Anbu said and left in a poof. Naruto, Akira and Kakashi were riding the cart towards the capital. The road was constructed well, and so the way was road was beautiful. Many large trees was standing on the two sides of the road. On their branches birds were singing, and with all of this was the sun rising, adding to the beautiful scenery. In the cart Kakashi was reading his orange book, giggling pervertedly from time to time, and Naruto was bugging Akira with questions. He asked him about everything that can come in mind. Not even one of them was looking at the scenery. Kakashi looked at Akira. On his face was a little smile, and Kakashi could have swore that he saw a glint of pride and love in his eyes. Then Kakashi heard a question that piqued his interest. Akira-sensei, said the blonde while scratching his head, can you please tell me more about the Ryu clan? He asked with little grin. Akira smiled. Yes, of course, Naruto, I will tell you the beginning of our clan. The smile on Akira's face grew when the blonde asked him that. He leaned back on the wall as he started to tell the story. Long ago our ancestor Fukasaku Ryu was part of an religious order of monks who worshipped Amaterasu. The order was standing for long years. At first they didn't have any ninjutsu. They were well trained in ninjutsu. It was a time of great war. The various clans were fighting each other for power and dominance. Villages burning and families destroyed made the war a horrible thing, but from all the clans two were greater than the others, the Senju and the Uchiha, that were fighting each other with no end. Each clan created alliances and brought even more destruction. One time the Senju passed through the territory of the Order of Amaterasu. When the order tried to prevent them from passing, as a dogmat was that no one without the blessing of Amaterasu shall pass. The Senju savagely attacked and destroyed the order. It was a horrible battle. The order was massacred. Even the youngest of apprentices were killed. One of the few survivors was our ancestor Fukasaku Ryu. He swore revenge on the Senju. In his pain and sorrow he left the destroyed land and went toward the lands of the Uchiha. He was 13 when he discovered his Kikii Genkei, or should I say Kikii Toda, plasma release. Kakashi's eyes widened. Kikii Toda, he said, his orange book falling from his hand. His jaw dropped. You have a Kikii Toda. Wow, the Hokage was right. You are an asset to our village, he said. Naruto just looked confused. Kikii Toda. What is it? I mean, I know what's a Kikii Genkei, but what's Kikii Toda? Kikii Toda is a Kikii Genkei that is created by 3 affinities instead of 2, explained Kakashi. It's really rare, like really rare. After the explanation, Akira continued. He experimented with it and learned its strengths and weaknesses. He married and started the clan, training them in the Kikii Toda. After 300 years the Ryu clan approached the Uchiha and allied with them. The war became even more vicious and our clan lost a lot of members. So after 100 years there became a splinter faction within our clan. They wanted peace, so they left. There wasn't a lot of them, several families only. In the last 100 years of war the Ryu clan, who destroyed cities alone and killed tens of clans, was destroyed. It's happened when the Uchiha made a peace with the Senju. The Ryu clan opposed to this treaty. They were driven by old hate and refused to stop fighting, so the Uchiha and Senju combined together and destroyed the village of the Ryu. The clan was destroyed. After the formation of the shinobi villages, the splinter of the Ryu drifted, agreeing to not forget the way of shinobi but train the children as shinobi, but they didn't allied with any village. Most of them went to live near Kiri, where they perished in the purges. Only my father and mother survived, as they didn't settle near Kiri but instead in the land of rivers, where my father became merchant. He finished with a sad voice. Then he said, that is actually the entire story of our clan. We once feared faded into history, so except of you and me there is no longer any survivors. Is your curiosity satisfied now? He said with a fake smile, his eyes watering, and he started to sob silently. When he looked at Naruto he saw the blonde was silent. What kind of crazy world are we in? I hope that one day will be peace, said Naruto, his voice sad. Kakashi looked at, seeing a grown man crying silently and a child patting him on his back. It must be been hard, he said. I know what it means to lose all of your close people. All laziness got off from his face. In its place came pain and sorrow. Akira looked at him. A smile started to form on his face. But now I have someone to care for. He looked at Naruto, the grandson of my sister. Then his voice became cold. I will destroy anyone who will dare to harm Naruto. I will destroy them all. Be it Indra Otsutsuki himself to face me. Then his features softened and he spoke to Naruto. Promise me, Naruto, you will always cherish your friends and family. Naruto nodded and scratched his head. Then he looked outside and saw the sun rising on the top of the trees. Look, he yelled. Akira and Kakashi looked together. They both were amazed by it. Naruto scratched his head again. That's beautiful. Kakashi and Akira were amazed that Naruto is going to say something interesting. Like a world of ramen, believe it, he yelled, finishing his sentence. Kakashi faced palmed. Akira just said figures. After some hours they came to a clearing in a forest. It was a large circular space with no trees. A lot of branches were littered all around, and there was something else. But what? Akira was the first to talk. Do you feel it, Kakashi? He asked in a low voice. Yeah, he answered without any hint of his usual laziness, but I don't know. What is it? It's so quiet. Then catching himself too quiet, he finished. Precisely, said Akira with a growl. Naruto, take cover, he commanded. The blonde nodded and took cover behind a large rock. Then something black flew from the trees with high speed and right at Kakashi. Line, Kumo. In the blue circular building in the middle of Kumo, surrounded by the scene of the village and mountains, the Raikage was seated in his chair and was working on some paperwork, though not so much, after all he has secretary for a reason. Konoha in the Hokage Tower, Hiruzen Sarutobi, was working on a lot of paperwork. Suddenly he sneezed and all the paperwork was scattered. God damn it, if I will know who made me sneeze I will kill him, he yelled. Kumo the Raikage suddenly shivered. Why is it so cold here? He shouted and broke the table with a punch. He called to his secretary to come in. She came in. She was a beautiful woman with brown hair and honey eyes. Yes, Raikage-sama, she said, bowing. Call the shinobi commander and my brother here right now, he commanded. The woman stated, Road, your brother, sir? Me? Please sir, don't send me there, she begged. The Raikage roared, get on with it, woman, I never asked you to go call him, send a shinobi, he roared and slammed Ho's hand against the wall. Now instead of a brown wall there was a hall. Go now, he said, as she ran away after bowing. The Raikage was moving in his office, waiting impatiently for them to arrive. Then a door opened and his brother Killer B entered. Hi was a big man with a dirty blonde hair and shades with several swords strapped to his back. He went in and saw all the damage. Hey bro, what happened to you? Yo, from the day the Hyuga got away you started to act all strange. Fool, ya fool, he tried to rap without much success. A glared at him. Who do you think you call a fool? He roared. Then he caught B's hand and sent him flying out of the window. A moment later B was back there. 2 minutes later the door opened again and a man entered. His eyes were green, his hair dirty blonde, and he had a dark skin. His entire walk showed a man with power and confidence, someone who can back up his words with power. He bowed to the Raikage. You called me Raikage-sama? He asked, stated with a strong voice. Yes Haruki, I called you. You were the head ninja. Tell me then, what did our man found about Suna and Iwa? He asked. The man Haruki Kurwan, the head ninja of Kumo, dusted his gray uniform. We learned that Suna has a Jinjuriku but they can't seem to control it. Iwa on the other hand still have Han on active duty, but Roshi is in retirement. He has a grudge against Iwa for making him live outside of the village and alone. And what are the chances of making Roshi desert? Asked the Raikage. Our agents made contact and he agreed to leave Iwa but not to become part of our shinobi force. He wants to retire. Alright, then we will have a place for him together with B. And you. B. The Raikage turned to his surrogate brother. How is the training of Yugito going? She is doing fine bro, she is going to kick everyone. Yo, full ya full, he rap. The Raikage face became angry. Shut up already, and he punched the wall again. Then he said alright, dismissed. After they left he thought to himself, I am so glad that I didn't send B to Konoha, otherwise I would my punching bag. Line, Konoha in the academy. A lesson was in session. The Chunin teacher was explaining about the Second Shinobi World War when he looked at the class he saw a boy with black pineapple hair sleeping. Shikimaru. Wake up, the Chunin yelled with an angry voice. The said boy looked up and ranted, troublesome teacher, can't you see I am trying to sleep, he mumbled lazily. When the Chunin wanted to ask him a question the bell rang and Shikimaru fell asleep again. Shochi, a boy with brown hair and a very fat big boned body, was crunching chips. Hey Shikimaru. Munch, isn't the class a bit quiet today? Munch, he asked. Shikimaru looked up. Troublesome Chochi, it's obvious Naruto isn't here so it doesn't matter. Too troublesome, he said lazily and drifted to sleep again. Line. Hokage Tower. The Hokage was munching on his pipe, making a smoke circles from time to time. On his table were a lot of unfinished paperwork, but his thoughts were in a different place with a certain blonde Jinjuriku. The boy changed, but thankfully not too much. I hope you are safe, Naruto. I swear if Kakashi will slack to defend you I will personally destroy his ICHA book, then I will bound him and read quietly in front of him. But really Naruto, be safe. Kakashi sidestepped the projectile, which then embedded itself on a tree. Akira, he shouted, protect Naruto. I will be okay. Then he jumped on a tree and started to search for his enemy. From his right a number of shurikens were flying towards him. He cursed and replaced himself with a log, still looking for his enemy. The guy is good with stealth, whoever he is, he thought. He jumped down and made fast hand signs, earth release. Hiding like a mall technique, then vanished into the earth. The assailant left the trees and came out to the open. He was rather short man with spiky hair and he had a slash-dame headband. He stood on his place trying to find Kakashi. Then Kakashi burst out of the earth with lightning circling around his hand. Shidori, his hand impaled the enemy. A smirk grew on his face. But the enemy became water. Damn it, a water clone. Then he heard water spikes. The water of the clone became sharp and spiky. Kakashi was able to jump away before he was impaled, but his leg got scratched. The nuke nin started again to throw shurikens at him. This time Kakashi made quick hand signs wind style. Great breakthrough. The wind that came redirected the shurikens to all the sides. Some impaled trees and others were scattered on the floor. Interesting. It's as if he doesn't want to engage in taijutsu combat, always attacking from afar. Then my best choice is to come closer. But how? Kakashi thought. The foe didn't wait, however, for Kakashi to think, rather throwing more kunais and shurikens, which Kakashi dodged, parry, and replaced himself. Then he heard a laugh. He turned around and saw the aimed shinobi standing not far from him, on his face a smirk. Look around, Kakashi. Hitaki, you were trapped. You have nowhere to run. Kakashi looked around. They were between several trees not far from where the battle started. On every tree around them at least 2 kunais or shurikens were stuck on the trees. Kakashi was confused. What does that person means? Is he crazy? He looked again as it hit him. Damn, I am so stupid, he thought. On every one of the shurikens and kunais were explosive tags, and although it wouldn't kill him, but it will injure him, so he won't be in any condition to fight. But you are here as well, he said. What will you get by suicide? The man smirked. Water clones are such useful tools. Kakashi's eyes widened. The clone made the ram seal activate. Then explosion. Line. Konoha. In a dark room in a hidden underground base, a man with black hair, a scar on his chin, and his left side all bandaged, was seated on a chair, listening to 2 shinobi report. Danzo-sama said. One of the shinobi, a man with a bit orange blonde hair, was kneeling on the cold floor. Our operatives sent their report. It's a very interesting one as well, sir, he finished. I see. Fu. What exactly does it says? He asked in a cold voice. The second shinobi, a man with a mask on his entire face, a tanto on his back, answered. 2 things actually, sir. It seems as if Kumo was able to convince Roshi to desert IWA, and he will be leaving in a month. At this, Danzo eyebrows went up. That's troubling indeed. And the second, Torun? The masked man, now known as Torun, answered. It's about Kumo's second Jinjuriku. The girl, her name is Yugito Ni. She is 20 years old. She is trained by Killer B to control her power. Our operative made a connection with her. It seems as although she likes B, she doesn't have any friends her own age and doesn't have any mother hand that aren't stern with her. Our operative, a girl named Himeragi Kazuki, made a contact with her. We believe it can bring some good to our village, sir. He bowed. Danzo thought for a couple of moments. It's indeed an interesting news, and although I don't want to do it, for the good of Konoha, I'll have to tell Hiruzen about it, he finally said, a scowl on his face. He got up and left towards the Hokage's tower, dismissing his operatives on the way. Forest. Kakashi was lying on the grass. Around him were splinters of the once trees, now nothing more than rubble. Body aching, every move hurt like hell. He was still alive thanks for not standing right near one of them. But he was in no condition to fight. Damn it, it hurts like hell. My entire body feels aflame. I probably have a 2nd and 3rd degree burns. I am sorry, sensei, I failed you just like I failed Obito and Rin. I am sorry, sensei. But I promise if I'll be able to survive that I will become strong enough to protect him. I swear to you, sensei, he thought bitterly. His enemy was ready to kill him. He started to move through hand signs. Kakashi was looking directly at him. If I'll die, I'll do it with my eyes open, he thought. Suddenly the X-aim nin jumped back as a kunai missed him. Kakashi looked around. He saw Akira moving with high speed towards them, making fast hand signs. The nuke nin didn't wait and preformed a faster jutsu water release. Palette water erupted out of his mouth in high speed towards Akira. Akira just finished his signs. He rolled forward, his hands still in the ram sign. The pellet missed him and Akira said, water release, water dragon. A giant dragon made of water came out of nowhere and charged at the nuke. The enemy tried avoiding it, but it was following him. He didn't have enough time to do any techniques, so instead he threw more explosive kunais. When they exploded, it's created a mist. Under its cover he jumped near one of the trees. Then he heard release, an explosion ripped him through. Then he understood. The first kunai, when his opponent threw it, he wasn't aiming at him, he aimed at the tree, leaving it there. He then goaded him there with his water dragon. He lost everything, went black. Konoha Hokage Tower. Hiruzen Sarutobi was sitting on his chair and smoking his pipe slightly. He was working on the paperwork when his secretary walked in. She bowed to the old Hokage. Hokage-sama. Danzo-sama is here to talk to you, he says. It's urgent. Hiruzen took a long breath from his pipe and leaned on his chair. Strange, what could Danzo possibly want? It's not like him. He'll need to be careful, he thought. Let him in, please. She bowed and left the room. Several short moments later, Danzo entered the room, his ken making noises as he goes. He bowed respectively, although albeit slowly. Hiruzen, he said without waiting for the Hokage to give him permission. Our operatives in Kumo was able to uncover some very interesting and worrying fact. You see, it seems Kumo trying to get stronger, they were able to persuade Roshi, one of the Jinchuriku of IWA, to betray IWA and join them. He will be arriving at Kumo in a month. Hiruzen's brows furrowed. That's indeed worrying. Another Jinchuriku in their hands is quite dangerous. And what's more? He asked, now making ash circles with his pipe. The stoic man looked at the Hokage. Indeed, there is more. Our undercover operative Himuragi Kazuki made contact with Yugito Ni, the young Jinchuriku of the Nibi no Bakaneko. It seems that the young girl is longing for a loving hand. We believe we can persuade her to come to our own side when she will grow, he finished with his cold voice. The Hokage was deep in thoughts. From one side it's Ken Lucis, an important operative. From the other side Konoha could use any help, mostly a trained Jinchuriku. Finally he spoke, a smirk adoring his face, one of his old, a bit sadistic smirks. They even made Danzo shiver about Roshi. We will tip IWA, they will stop him, and they won't make a new one right now as it's too long and dangerous, so we will get all. Not only will we stop Kumo from obtaining a Jinchuriku, we will be able to get for this a lot from IWA. And the IWA danger doesn't change. It's a total win-win situation for us. Was gripping his pipe and his eyes showed he was full of life. As for Yugito Ni, tell the operative to come closer to her, but she has to actually form a connection with her, which means both sides. It won't do if it a fake, because if she will learn it's a lie it will do more harm than good. But tell her to be careful. If a war will start she should have an escape route for them both, understand? He finished. Danzo smirked. He didn't show this personality of Hiruzen for many years. He actually forgot how strong he is. Yes Hiruzen, it shall be done. He bowed again and left the room. Outskirts of the forest, Kakashi was lying in the cart, his body heavily bandaged. He felt his body's burning and felt something cold on his forehead. Oh, you're awake, said Akira with a genuine smile. That good. Naruto was extremely worried you were injured hard and for the last day and a half you had a high fever. No, now we are only half day from the capital, so it's all right, just relax, he said. Then Naruto came close. Kakashi-san. You're awake, awesome. I was so worried. Dadbao. Please be more careful next time, okay? Kakashi nodded heavily. After some time of silence Kakashi spoke. I was pathetic, wasn't I, Akira? I couldn't beat that aim nin. Well, he was a ranked nuke nin. I checked in your bingo book. Sorry, Kiyos Karuhi was his name. But frankly Kakashi, I expected more from the famous copycat of Konoha. I hope that next time it won't happen, he said sternly. Yeah, I need to do better to stop living in the past, I guess. I understand it's hard, trust me, I was there when I lost the last remnant of my family. It took me a long time to come in terms with it and I hope you will too, he said. Then they heard a yell. Look, over there. Naruto was bouncing exited. When they looked from the window they saw a breathtaking scene. From afar they could see the towers and walls of the capital. The area around the walls was green and a lot of flowers could be seen, and with the sunset it was looking like a city from a fairy tale. That's beautiful, said Akira. Amazing, said Kakashi. Naruto was transfixed that how the world should look like, peaceful and beautiful, he mumbled to himself. After 3 more hours they came to the gates of the capital. Unknown location. A man, his face covered in shadows, was talking to himself. Soon, very soon my plan will start his motion and then I will return. And when I will the world won't be the same again. When their cart came near the gates of the capital, 2 guards came forth. One of them fist bumped his red samurai armor. State your business, he said. Akira looked at the guard and gave him their papers. Akira Ryu, he said. Merchant from Konoha, he finished with a cheery voice. The guard checked the papers, as the second one asked, and the boy? He is my assistant, Naruto Uzumaki. The guard nodded, muttering something that Naruto thought was damn ninjas can't help a child instead of making him work. Then the guard noticed the injured shinobi and him? He asked with suspicion in his voice. Kakashi smiled and I smiled. Kakashi Hitaki, I am a guard for them, he said. The guard seemed to ease a bit. Stay out of trouble, shinobi. We watching you, he said, his voice emotionless. Kakashi just nodded and they entered the capital. It was a big city, a lot of big houses, some villas and compounds. People were doing their business. Children were playing in the streets, carts, animals, tens of shops, and noise, so much noise. Naruto was sitting, his eyes wide, speechless. Wow. So many people, and I thought Konoha was big. But compared to that it's probably just insignificant village without the shinobi. If to compare the number of people it's like the difference in the amount of noodles in a cage-sized ramen and a child size. Although there are more people here than noodles in a cage serving, he said, his mouth watering, and his imagination showed him a ramen ball the size of the capital and a lot of noodles walking there. Akira looked amused. Fuin, will you mature, he said with fake annoyance, but a wide smile showed his bluff. Kakashi was trying not to give up to his pain, but every stop and bump of the cart made him cry in pain. Akira spoke now. We will go to an hotel later. You will stay with Kakashi till I will bring a doctor. Kakashi looked at Akira. A regular doctor? You have to be kidding me. Do you really believe he can help? He asked. Akira frowned. Don't underestimate them. Maybe they don't use chakra, but they are good and can kill a shinobi under their care easily. But no, there is a medical nin around here giving his service to shinobi, as a lot of doctors refuse to help them unless it's a life and death situation, and the general public doesn't go to him as he is a nin. He finished. Naruto yawned. Common, let's get going. I am tired. He yawned again. Akira chuckled. Okay Naruto, we are going now to the hotel, he said. I am a regular there, come on. They took Kakashi and went to the hotel. In the reception Akira paid and they went up to their room. They laid Kakashi on the bed and Akira left the room towards one of the neighborhoods. It wasn't as grand as the central neighborhood, but it had some nice houses. The children were playing around. He went into a side alley and turned left. He was now standing in front of a nice door made of mahogany. He knocked on the door and a man with white hair opened it. He motioned him to come in. You know I don't regularly have a civilian costumers, so what disturbed you, he asked. Akira smiled. Tea please. The man smiled and went to make the tea. Akira looked around the room. It was a nice room with 3 doors including the one he came through. The walls were painted in a nice red and gold color with nice cream-colored curtains. In the middle of the room was one mahogany-made table. Around it were 2 couches and a chair. There was a fire roaring in the heart. The doctor came back with 2 teacups. They started to chat. After several minutes Akira saw that something was bothering the doctor. Sorry doc, but is there something bothering you? He asked. The doctor looked surprised. Is it that obvious? He wondered. Not really, but as a trained nin I can see your body twitching slightly and the look in your eyes showing that something bothering you. Ah. You are a shinobi. Please forgive me, I just didn't see any headbands so I assumed you are a civilian, he said apologetically. A chuckle escaped Akira's mouth. It's okay, I don't mind, he said. Now what is it bothering you? The doctor sighed. Well, you see, the local gangs here making me some problems. They want ransom defense fee, they call it. I am not young anymore so I can't defend myself properly. They bother me, even threatened me. He sighed again. But I doubt you came here to listen to old Mon's problems, so tell me, why are you here? My friend a shinobi is injured. I need you to help him. In payment we can help you with those thugs, he said curtly. Will you agree? What else can you give me on them? The man nodded eagerly. Of course. First, the gang leader has long hair, usually in a ponytail. He is a redhead with a wrinkle near his nose. Second, they have drug dealings. Now show me where your friend is, he said. And both of them left the house. Line, Konoha in the academy. A class was in session and the Chunin was exhausted. He didn't even had enough energy to wake Shikimaru or tell Chochi to stop munching in the middle of the lesson. He looked then at Hinata and sighed. Her eyes were cold, although not as much as Sei's. He didn't know what to do, but as his duty demands, he said, Shikimaru, wake up. Shikimaru looked up lazily. Troublesome, where's Naruto? When he is here only he gets in troubles, he lazily thought. He looked to his right and saw Ino and Sakura looking at Sasuke. Troublesome women, he said. Hokage Tower. Danzo was seated in front of Hiruzen. We tipdiwa off. They weren't happy, but they got us interesting info. Seems one of their members left and joined the Akatsuki. They growing in power. Hiruzen, what do we know of their goal? He asked. The Hokage took a sip of his pipe. Not too much. Itachi was unable to provide us with enough info as of yet. I hope we will get the know. After all, Orochimaru is one of them, he concluded. Oh well, can't be helped, right, said Danzo. Indeed, good job. He looked at Danzo. Listen, from all this intel giving us a picture. Kumo is expanding their forces, in other words war, so we will need every last shinobi ready, he finished. Danzo nodded, stood up and curtly bowed, then he left the room. Capital. After they came back he told Naruto they will have to do some recon mission and later to go to the police, but first he wants to meet an old friend in the palace. So together they went on the main road throughout the market, till they stood in front of the palace. It was breathtaking. It had 12 towers arranged in a diamond formation on the palace, who by itself was made in a diamond formation made of marble and heavy stone with embroidery of gold. They came near the gates. Akira came close to the guards. Hello there, fine sentries. Can I ask you to call Joriku-sama please? Tell him that Akira asked to see him. After several minutes a man with a monel's clothes and bold head came through. Akira, is that you? He said, so long didn't see you. What are you doing today? Still travel around? He asked with a smile. Akira shaked his head. No, not anymore, old friend. What do you say we will meet tonight at my hotel? Chiriku thought for a moment. I don't see why not. I'll be there, he answered, and with a goodbye went back to the palace. After that Akira turned to Naruto. Listen, the doctor that helps Kakashi right now needs our help. Thugs are after him. Our mission is to shadow them, learn where is their HQ, and find the drugs. After that we should go to the guards station and show them where are the drugs, capiche? Naruto nodded eagerly. Good, follow my lead, stay in the shadows and don't make a noise. Got it, said Naruto. They went to the same part of town where the doctor lives. After they came there they blended with the shadows, going in the sidewalks and back alleys. They were scanning the perimeter for the man. Akira's trained eye caught him first. Here he is, he matches the description, he said. The man was going out of a bar. He was big man with quite a mass of muscles. They tailed him to the HQ without raising any suspicion. They waited till he went in. After that they surveyed the building and found a side window. They came close and checked if anyone sees them. After confirming that indeed no one saw them, they hid around the corner of a nearby building. They waited for around 40 minutes till they saw evidence of drugs. A group of people went inside with packages. That was all what Akira needed. He motioned to Naruto and they both left the area quickly. From there they went to the nearby guard post and gave the information to the guards. After around 30 minutes a guard group went to the coordination. Akira and Naruto went back to the hotel. Naruto was exhausted. When they came in, Kakashi was seated on the bed with the doctor seating near him. Your friend will be okay, just some rest and change the bandages once a day and he will be like new, he said with a satisfied smile. Akira smiled back. Thanks a lot, doctor. We held our end of the bargain. The guards went to the gang's HQ, he said with a smirk. Naruto smiled. That was awesome, like a real recon dadbao. The doctor's face lit up. Thank you so much. Next time you are in the capital, come visit me. Of course, they all answered. He then left after thanks from Akira, Chiriku, and a very loud thanks dadbao from Naruto. It was quite late and Naruto went to sleep when Chiriku knocked on the door. Akira smiled and invited him in, motioning to the table in the room. Akira and Chiriku sat down for a talk. So said the later, what are you up to now and who is the boy, he asked. At the mention of the boy Akira smiled, looked towards the bed where said blonde was sleeping. Today I am a citizen of Konoha, though still a merchant. This boy however is now my entire life. He is the grandson of my sister. I train him to be a strong and skilled shinobi, he said with a bit of happiness in his voice. Chiriku smiled. It's good to see you so alive again, Akira. After another hour of chatting they bid farewell to each other and Chiriku left. The day after, Naruto woke up and saw Kakashi lying in bed and reading his orange book. Akira was drinking tea near the table. When he saw Naruto awake, good morning sleeping beauty, it's time to get up. Today we will buy all the supplies we need. Common, we are leaving in an hour. Several hours later, after buying all what they needed, they went to eat lunch with Kakashi. After they started to eat and Akira made Kakashi drop the book, Naruto turned to Kakashi. Kakashi, I have a question. Can I ask? You already asked, kid, but yeah, of course. Well, it's something that bothered me. When we came into city the guards were suspicious and unfriendly. Why doesn't they look at us as heroes? He asked. Well, Naruto, think of it, you now already that shinobi aren't heroes, but rather people who'll sell their humanity and kill Lily and destroy. So think of it, for a civilian an entire village not only full of us, but we train our children like this as well. Obviously they want like us, he said, a glimpse of coldness in his voice. Oh thanks Kakashi, I'll understand, said the blonde, scratching behind his head although without the trademark grin. So here again the truth, not only we aren't heroes, they don't even look at us like that, he thought. 3 days later they were on their way back to Konoha. Naruto was seating across of Mizuki. It was a day before graduation and Naruto was in very bad mood. He looked around the room. It was a simple office just like any other in the academy. It had a simple table, 2 chairs in which he and Mizuki were seating, and a window from which you could look at the playing area of the academy. Naruto's bad mood had a reason. In particular the words that the man in front of him just said. How did it come to this, he thought to himself. Flashback. Naruto walked in the classroom. Today was a day before the graduation exam. From tomorrow on he will be able to change his clothes and show his real face. No, he wasn't broody, in fact he was cheerful. But still he was a person who took his studies seriously and knew what means to be a shinobi. He understood the need to kill. Sometimes there was no other choice. So yeah, he did want to take of the disguise of the goofy prankster from hell. He sat down on his chair near Sasuke and waited for the teacher to come in. After 5 more minutes Mizuki came in. There were murmurs in the class. It's already the 4th day that Mizuki comes alone without Iruka, saying that the Chunin was ill. He cleared his throat. Listen up everyone, tomorrow is the graduation exam. You all getting leave for training before the exam. Also some of you won't get into the exam at all after class. Please come all to my office. Now we will just revise the 3 jutsu and after that you all may leave, he finished with a dramatic tone. What? A lot of the children shouted. They didn't understand there wasn't such a thing as to not let someone enter based on their marks before. One by one the children entered Mizuki's office. After some time came Naruto's turn. He was scared. After all, he knew his marks very well. He did play the part of Adobe. After all, he hoped it won't backfire on him. He entered the office. He was too nervous to look at the room. He heard Mizuki telling him. He obeyed. Now listen Naruto, it's hard to me to say that, but you are not to be entered into the exam. Your grades are horrible and your behavior is horrid. I am sorry Naruto, Mizuki said with a sad expression on his face. As he heard that, Naruto's face paled. Their plan backfired. It was horrible. All his dreams and wishes are unreachable. Flashback end. Naruto. Naruto, do you still hear me? Asked a worried-looking Mizuki. Yes, sorry sensei, I just spaced, Ge said with a dejected voice. His thoughts pained him, but he knew that even if he won't become a Konoha shinobi, Akira will still be there for him, training him, and then he could defend Konoha and all those he cares. This thoughts calmed him down a bit. Mizuki smiled. It's okay Naruto, you don't have to look so sad. Kaos, I have a news for you. You see, there is a second exam, one which is not usually given, but after the death decision that you won't take the exam, I interfered and asked them to give you the second exam. But you have to swear to keep it a secret. Naruto's eyes lit up. Really Mizuki-sensei? Thanks a lot, he said. Exited. So what is the second exam? He asked. Mizuki smiled sweetly. It's a hard test Naruto. You need to show you have resolve, mind and stealth abilities, because these are the most important ninja tools, and that why your mission is tomorrow on the day of the graduation exam, to infiltrate the Hokage Tower and take from there the Scroll of Seals. It's the biggest scroll there. Then go to the forest where you will have to learn one jutsu before we will find you. Got it? Yeah Mizuki-sensei, I will, he said with all the enthusiasm HD could muster, but in his mind his thoughts were buzzing. Something isn't right here. I guess I better go talk to Akira-sensei first, he concluded in his mind. He bowed to Mizuki and left the room. Iwa, the Tsuchikage's tower. The 4th Tsuchikage was looking out of the window. He was looking at the village that surround the tower, its tower-like structures, and the people who were going around doing their business. The shinobi in their red shirt and brown flak jackets with their headbands on them. He looked at the children playing in a nearby park. On his face was a little smile. He wasn't young man and he cared deeply for this village, and that why although he had a smile his futures were grim. He just got a report from his spies network. It seems that Kumo was trying to gear up and strengthen their forces. And the part of Roshi's betrayal 4 years ago and Dedar's betrayal didn't help it at all. His reports said that Kumo is going to fight Konoha most likely, but the Tsuchikage knew that it could bring the 4th Shinobi World War, and he definitely didn't want that. For now he will try to strengthen their position, and if a war will start he will try to stay out of it if possible. Our side wearily he heard a door open and he turned around. A girl with black hair and with a prideful walk entered. It was his granddaughter. Kuratsuchi. She entered with a loud, hey old geezer, what do you do? Are you ready to give me the hat? He looked angry. You dare to disrespect me? I am. Crank. Ow, my back. Konoha. It was a regular day in the shop. He was serving the costumers with ninja supply and everything else, or it was a regular day till Naruto came in rushing. That wasn't like Naruto. He was a lively kid, yes, but he wasn't all that rush, so for him to burst in meaning that something important happened. Naruto came close to him. Akira-sensei, I need to talk to you somewhere private, he said and rubbed his back head. Akira couldn't help but smile at the boy's antics. Of course Naruto, come with me to the back room. They walked together to the back door and entered the storage room. Akira turned to Naruto. Now Naruto, what happened? He asked with interested tone. You see, Akira-sensei, Mizuki-sensei told me that cause of my bad marks I can't take the exam, Naruto said. Akira's face became rigid. What? I didn't know that something like that even possible, nor did the Hokage tell us. It's horrible. We need to get to the Hokage, he said with determination. Wow sensei, halt for a moment, let me finish first, Ge said fast, never seeing his sensei like this. Akira nodded, and so Naruto continued. So right after he told me about a second exam, I'll have to steal a scroll of seals from the Hokage office, learn one jutsu and graduate. Now Akira's face expression changed from rigid to outright furious and worried. That's not good, Naruto. I think he was lying to you. We should go tell the Hokage about it and fast. You've done well, Naruto, said Akira with a smile. Common Naruto, I smell a rat, so we should catch it. He hurried out of the shop apologizing for the discomfort and speeding towards the Hokage tower. Naruto said quietly, I don't smell rat, but I do smell a big Hokage-size miso ramen ball, and hurried after Akira. After they came to the Hokage tower, Akira went right to the secretary. We need to see the Hokage now, he said urgently. Sorry, she replied, no can do. The Hokage has an important meeting right now. Grr. We can't wait, it's an emergency. Women, let us pass. But she refused. Then she looked at the door and so it opens. Naruto sped into the room. Stop. She screamed. The Hokage is busy, but he didn't even registered her and was already in. Upon his entrance, the Hokage glanced at him, taking a deep inhale from the pipe. Naruto, what is it, my boy? Can it wait? I am in the middle of a meeting, he said with a smile. Only then did Naruto look around. He saw a couple of shinobis sitting there on several chairs in front of the Hokage table. I am sorry, Hokage Gigi, but it's an emergency, and I need Akira here as well. He is waiting outside. He looked at the ninjas. Can they be trusted? He asked. The ninjas around the table gasped. Not only did he call the Hokage in a disrespectful manner, he dares to ask if Junin of the village are trustworthy. Insolent child, thought to himself. A Junin with a long black raven hair and red eyes. Another Junin with brown hair and a goatee with cigarette in his mouth just smiled. And a silver-haired Junin with a mask on his face and headband covering his left eye was reading his orange book, all the while giggling. The Hokage, on the other hand, was more concerned about what the boy had to say. After all, not every day you can see Naruto coming worried. So he leaned back, smoking his pipe again. Indeed, call him in. And yes, Naruto, they're Junin of the village, all are trustworthy, he said. After that, Akira came in and bowed to the Hokage. Naruto bowed to the Junins. Excuse me for my rudeness, I didn't know your status, he said, at the same time scratching the back of his head. He turned back to the Hokage. Gigi, I believe that Mizuki-sensei is a traitor to the village, he said, and proceeded to tell the Hokage the entire story. After he finished his story, Naruto stopped talking and looked expectantly to Hiruzen. The Junin were stunned to say the least, but the Hokage was really worried. In fact, he was so worried he stopped munching on his pipe. He sighed and looked at Naruto. If that's true, and I have no doubt about it, we need to capture him and get an explanation that why. I have a plan, he said. They all looked at him silently. Naruto, you will go there with the scroll. After that you will wait for Mizuki to come. I'll send 6 Anbu to ambush him. After he will come, understand? He asked. Naruto nodded. But Akira raised his hand. Hokage-sama, if I may. After a nod from Hiruzen, he continued. Naruto is just a child. You are basically making him a bait, he finished with a frown. The Hokage looked deep into Akira's eyes as if looking into his soul. There is no other choice, he said, and you know it, he finished sternly. It doesn't mean I have to like it, replied Akira. The Hokage nodded. Kakashi, call the Anbu please for me. Kakashi nodded and left the room. Do all of you know your part? Yes, good, you know what to do. Dismissed, he said. After they all left the room, the Hokage sighed and went back to his paperwork. Line. A day later, Naruto with the forbidden scroll of seals went to the meeting point. He sat on the ground and stared at the sky and the forest. The forest was beautiful with all of its green trees and the sky was clear. He repeated his orders to himself. Come close enough to Mizuki so the Anbu will be able to replace himself with him. After about 30 minutes he heard footsteps. He looked up and saw Mizuki, who were smiling at him. Nice job, Naruto, now give me the scroll and we will go back to the Hokage tower, he finished sweetly. Naruto got up and moved towards Mizuki. When he came closer, Mizuki outstretched his hand to take the scroll. Then a poof of smoke shrouded Naruto, and a second later Mizuki's hand was in pain locked by an Anbu with a crane mask. Chunin, Mizuki, you are under arrest for betraying the village. Hidden in the leaves. All Mizuki looked around desperately, looking for something that will save him, but the only thing he saw were 5 more Anbu surrounding him. Then he saw Naruto standing not far from there. If I can't save myself, at least I'll give the fox brat some pain, he thought. Naruto, you will pay for this, I swear. Oh, and by the way, just thought you should know. The 9 tails is sealed inside of you. You are the... He was unable to finish the sentence as a hand chop on the back of his neck took him out. Naruto's eyes were wide. That was the last thing he expected to hear from Mizuki. One of the Anbu came near him and put his hands on his shoulders. It's okay, Naruto, come, we have to go to the Hokage's tower. He will explain everything, he said with a stoic voice. At that the other Anbu took Mizuki and left towards the tower, with Naruto and the last Anbu right after them. Hokage Tower. When the Hokage and Akira saw the Anbu with Naruto and unconscious Mizuki, they smiled. The smile disappeared however from the Hokage face as the Anbu told him that Naruto now knows about the fox. He looked at Naruto with a sad expression. Listen Naruto, I know it's hard to believe, but trust me, I didn't want to hide from you forever. I would have told you about it after you would become a Chunin. Alas, it seems you know now. As it is Naruto, we need to talk about it. You see Naruto, the power of the fox is really great and you can partially access it, but it comes with a price. You may lose yourself to the fox and endanger your comrades. That's why Naruto, I ask you not to try and access its powers, rather to wait till my student Jiraiya of the Sennin will come and he will help you, okay? He finished with a grandfatherly voice. Naruto looked at him, then at Akira, who was looking at him with a big smile, and for a long moment there was silence. Okay Gigi, but there is a problem. I am not a shinobi, he finally said, his voice dropped. The Hokage inhaled deeply from his pipe and smiling, he said, come Naruto, closer and close your eyes. Naruto complied, stepping closer to the Hokage, his eyes shut. Then he felt something being wrapped around his forehead. Congratulations Naruto, you are now a genin of Konoha, said the Hokage with a wide smile. Konoha. Naruto was walking towards the Hokage Tower. He had to submit his ninja ID today, and so slowly he was going through the populated city of Konoha towards the tower. As he was going, he looked around at the children and adults, each doing their own business, and once again he reminded himself, why did he become a shinobi? Why did he stepped on this bloodstained road? It's for those who he cares and loves, for the village he adores, for every individual within its boundaries. He will become the devil incarnate, although it's going against his friendly nature. He entered the tower and went to a side room where a photographer was waiting. Naruto looked at himself. He was dressed in a black shirt and pants with black shinobi sandals. He had a mesh shirt on, the black one, and his forehead protector was on place. He smiled and entered the room. Some minutes and pictures later he went upstairs to the Hokage office. He walked in and saw the Hokage sitting in his place smoking and working on some paperwork. Hokage Gigi, I came to submit you my shinobi ID, he said, his voice a bit deeper than usually. The Hokage looked up and gasped in surprise, his pipe unceremoniously falling from his mouth on the paperwork, scattering some of it. The Hokage looked at Naruto with wonder. The flamboyant boy wasn't there in his place. He saw a serious young shinobi. Please give me your ID. By the way, nice outfit Naruto, said the Hokage with a smile. I am sure you'll be a great shinobi one day. Naruto silently nodded. After a sec he turned to the Hokage. Hokage Gigi, is it true that the worst student is with the best? He asked. Hiruzen was already seeing where the boy takes it. Indeed Naruto, that how it's usually done. Now listen, you have briefing in 1 week where you will be introduced to your Junin sensei. Hi Hokage Gigi, I'll see you around, he said with a smile and turned to leave the office. But before he could, a little boy with brown hair and big blue scarf that was too big for him came in with a shuriken in hand. Your time is up, old man. Today I will become Hokage, the boy yelled, but before he was able to so much as enter the room he tripped on the scarf and fell to the floor. Ouch! Ouch! How the boy stammered and looked around. His eyes fell on Naruto. You tripped me, didn't you? I'll show you, he charged with a fist down at Naruto, who easily caught his hand and taking him by the collar picked him up. Listen boy, whoever you are, if you will always blame others for your failures you will never become strong, and so we both know you tripped on the scarf, said Naruto, his voice emotionless. The brat visibly flinched at the Tony. You put me down. Do you know who I am? I am the grandson of the Hokage. Show some respect, he said with a smirk. A second later he was released with his head down. Bump! Ouch! What was that for? He asked while clutching his head. Because brat, you were annoying, and respect is earned not given, he finished and left the room. So much like his father, thought the Hokage with a smile, and made another circle of smoke out of his pipe. Hyuga compound. Hinata was training hard. In a week she will be introduced to her Junin sensei and will truly start her way as a kunoichi. And although she is the top kunoichi, she knew that it's meaningless in the real world. She thought about Naruto, how he didn't come to the graduation test, and remembered Mizuki's words about how some of them won't be taking the exams. She was a bit depressed. After all, he was a friend, but her resolve won't drop just because of this. Instead she thought about the changes she was able to brought to the Hyuga and her marriage to Neji when she will turn 16. She resolved to wait for the briefing day and see what will be with him. After that she returned to her training. Konoha streets. Naruto was walking in the streets towards the Uchiha compound. The compound was silent, though it's to be expected as no one except Sasuke lived there. He got closer to the entrance. He knew that whatever he is going to do will have a lot of influence on his interactions with Sasuke. He walked straight to the biggest house and knocked on the door, hoping that it's indeed Sasuke's house. After several minutes the door opened and in the entrance stood Sasuke Uchiha with a hand behind his back, obviously holding a kunai. When Sasuke saw who was standing in front of him, his jaw almost dropped to the floor. "Dobi, what are you doing here, and what's with the sudden change of outfit?" he asked, act curious, as not only the Dobi was standing in front of him but in proper clothes for once. Naruto looked at him with a little grin on his face. "Oh, I see now, Sasuke, that how you greet a guest, huh?" A scowl appeared on the Uchiha's face at those words. "All right, come in," he said. They went in and sat near the table. "So Dobi, what is it you want?" he asked with a glare. Naruto chuckled slightly. "Well, Sasuke, what I am here for is to make a deal with you, an alliance of a sort," he said. Sasuke started laughing hard. "You, the Dobi, the dead last, what will I get from it? I see no reason to agree to anything. It seems you are a Dobi not only in learning but also you lack common sense." "Oh really, Sasuke? Let me tell you something. I know all about you. I know about Itachi. I know about how you want to kill him, and what's usually going in your mind is how one day you will become strong enough to kill Itachi, right?" Sasuke's jaw actually dropped and his eyes widened. "How exactly do you know all of this?" he asked with, for once, actual interest. "Oh, it seems I was able to pique your interest. Well, that's good. Now Sasuke, I have a secret to tell you, too actually. First, I knew your brother and he was my idol as I grew up, so when he massacred the Uchiha I was shocked. Second, and more relevant, is that I am stronger than I look. I just played the part of the Dobi for covering my ability, and for one more reason which I'll tell you later. Now I know you won't trust me. After all, I am the class Dobi, so let's make a bet. We will fight each other, and if you win I'll stop bothering you at all. Should I win though, I want you as an ally." Now you probably ask yourself, if I really want to conceal my power and abilities, then why tell you? The answer will be given to you after our little fight. What do you say? He finished. Sasuke was deep in thoughts. After several moments he responded, "Okay Dobi, you've got yourself a deal," he said, and got up, motioning to Naruto to come with him. Naruto complied and got up as well. They went out of the house and went for several minutes. Naruto was looking around. He saw the abandoned houses and imagined children smiling, playing around the older folk. He started to comprehend a bit how the stoic Uchiha felt. After several minutes they came to a training area with a lot of dummies and logs. Sasuke turned to the blonde, "Here we are, the Uchiha private training ground. If you want to back down, Dobi, now is the time," he said with a smirk. The black-haired boy got into the stance of the Uchiha style. He looked at his opponent. He expected him to stand in his regular Street Fighter no form, but instead the other boy got into a stance that, although wasn't familiar, it was obvious that it's a professional. Naruto got into his stance, legs spread a bit, one hand around the chest as the other around his abdomen, the right leg a bit forward. A second later they both burst forward towards each other. Naruto dodged to the right to avoid the punch that Sasuke sent towards him, but was surprised as the Uchiha suddenly made a roundhouse kick. To where he dodged he was sent sky high. Sasuke pressed his advantage and started punching Naruto. Naruto used a replacement jutsu coming from behind Sasuke, and attacked Sasuke from behind. He kicked the stoic Uchiha in the back, sending him flying forward. But Sasuke flipped in midair and, landing on his legs, started to make hand signs just as Naruto made several himself. Fire release. Grand fireball technique. A big fireball came out of Sasuke's mouth, flying towards Naruto and striked him. Sasuke's eyes widened. "Oh no, I didn't thought that will actually strike him," he thought in fear. But a second later he heard the air whistle as he turned around and barely dodged 3 shurikens. When the shurikens passed, suddenly one of them was engulfed in smoke, and Naruto, who substituted himself with one of the kunais, came crashing towards his opponent with a downswing of his leg, effectively putting him down. Sasuke, after getting painfully kicked, was able to catch the blonde's leg and threw him to the ground. Then he jumped back and took out kunais with weak explosive tags, throwing them towards Naruto. But Naruto, who was already up, was finishing hand signs. Water release. Turbulent wave of water sprayed out of Naruto's mouth, throwing the kunai down and moving forward towards Sasuke, who easily dodged by jumping high, and after landing with a burst of speed began to punch Naruto, who blocked every punch easily until suddenly Sasuke, speeding through chakra, moved around Naruto and put a kunai to his throat, only to find a kunai to his heart and a smiling blonde. You are every bit what I thought, said Naruto. You're really good. After all, there is a reason why you are the rookie of the year. He finished, a smile on his face. They both lowered the kunais. You aren't bad yourself, Dobi. No, Uzumaki. You have power and that is good. The question is only what now. Are we going to be allies or will you leave and stop bothering me, said Sasuke. He too had a smile on his face. After all, it's not every day that he got someone to much him up. Naruto sheepishly smiled while scratching his head. Well, Sasuke, I want to be allies with you. That was the entire reason I came here today. As for why, it's simple. You see, there is a tradition here in Konoha when they make the teams, so there are always teams who specializes in something, like scouting, tactics, etc. But there is always the team that made of the two top students and the one last. Do you see where I am going? He asked. To say Sasuke was surprised was to say the fire is wet. He didn't know who told that to Naruto. But whoever it is had a genius plan. By being the worst outside, not only did he kept his skills secret but also let him join a team of the best of his year. That was really good planning. Then Naruto spoke again. I see you understand. In a strong team I can sharpen my skills, not only because the team won't hold me back, but because a training with strong teammate helps even more. We both seek the same thing. We both carve for power. The difference is only our reasons. Yours to kill Itachi, my own to protect those I care about. We can help each other to become stronger. That why? Because only you can understand me and only I can understand you, because we have the same ambition. So what do you say? Will you accept? He asked and simultaneously extended his hand to Sasuke. After several seconds the Uchiha took his hand and shook it. All right, Uzumaki, you've got yourself an ally, he said with a little smile. None of them saw the Anbu who was looking at them from the trees. Konoha Kakashi opened the door to his house. He felt spent after another 10 hours of training. It was his new routine for the last 4 years after the incident with the aimed shinobi. He felt so weak, so useless, such failure. So after they came back to the village and after he was medically allowed, he started a new training routine. He had a goal, not only to come back to his old self and power but also to surpass his old self. To become an S-class shinobi, all for the sake of his new goal in life, to defend his sensei's legacy and the village he loved. For that end he started training 10 hours a day bar mission. Moreover, he asked Akira Ryu to train with him, to which he agreed. And so they trained together when he could. Now 4 years later he felt that he surpassed his goal of becoming S-class, but at the same time he knew that never again will he slack of, because the village and Naruto needs him. Just now he came from the Hokage Tower where the teams of the current year genin were decided. Flashback: Hokage's tower. Kakashi entered the room where the old Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi was seated behind the table. Near the table Asuma, Kurenai and several other Junin were standing waiting for the Hokage to talk. The room was the same as always, but something felt off. After a second it clicked him, there was no paperwork. Anyway, he knew he was late, but this time it had nothing to do with his regular reason. Actually, this time he was so focused on his training that he lost track of time. When the Hokage saw him, he started to talk. As you all know, you are here for the team selection. I want to hear your opinion on the teams. You have here all the files of the graduates. Please read them carefully, he stated, his pipe making some smoke circles. After approximately 20 minutes, Asuma was the first to talk. He was a good-builded man with light brown hair and a goatee. When he talked he made some smoke proofs from his cigarettes. Hokage-sama, I believe that we should make the Ino, Shika, show team, as although it doesn't seems they have great relationship with each other, they are still friendly at least, and as we know that this formation works, I am sure that it won't take a lot of work to make them a good team, and I volunteer to be their Junin sensei, he finished, a light smoke poof coming from his cigarette. The next one to speak was Kurenai Yui, a girl with long black raven color hair and red eyes. She was known for her pride as a woman. Hokage-sama, if I may, I think to make a team from the Hyuga, the Aburame and the Inazaka, and although the Hyuga is the strongest of the Kunoichi and as such the Kunoichi of the year, I think her skills combined with the other two will make a great scout team, she finished. The next one to talk was a Junin with a deep green eyes and dark brown hair. His name was Naoto Abe. Hokage-sama, if you will, I will take this 3 children, Takeshi Akiyama, Amy Fujishima and Hiroto Yoshida. They're friends, so teamwork won't be a problem, and they have fairly good grades, so I believe that together they have a chance to pass, he finished in a deep voice. And so each Junin told their opinion. Some were against the others, some supported other opinion, and so on. After about 20 minutes the Hokage silenced all of them by lifting his hand up. Everyone was looking at the Hokage. He looked at Kakashi. What about you, Kakashi? Inhale, poof. You didn't told us yet your opinion, he said, asked the silver-haired Junin. The reply was simple. My opinion doesn't matter, Hokage-sama. I know I'll have the Uchiha as only I can train him in the Sharingan, and because he is the Rookie of the Year I'll get either Haruno Sakura or Hyuga Hinata and of course the last one of the class, Uzumaki Naruto. So what does it matters, he asked with a mid-lazy tone. The old Hokage smiled. Okay, now after I heard all of your suggestions and opinions I will now select the teams. First, Asuma, your request granted. You will get the Ino Shika Cho, Kurenai and Naoto. So will you. Then he started giving other teams. After he finished he said, all dismissed. Oh Kakashi, please stay behind, I need to talk to you in private. He finished. Kakashi waited as requested, his mind working furiously at what can the Hokage talk to him. After everyone went out the Hokage turned to Kakashi. It's about Naruto. You see Kakashi, Naruto being dead last was only a facade. His actual level is on par with Sasuke Uchiha. Speaking of which, they made an alliance last week if I to believe the reports of the Anbu. And because of this I thought you should know, because it's possible that your regular test won't be useful. Please Kakashi, take a good care of them. He finished, his voice a bit rough. Dismissed. Hi Hokage-sama, replied Kakashi with a bow and went back to his house. Flashback end. Now Kakashi was standing near his wardrobe. He took 2 bells and tied them to the belt. After a second he took another one and put it in his pocket in case he'll have to do things a bit more interesting, he thought to himself, and went to sleep. Line. Hokage Tower. Hiruzen Sarutobi was still sitting behind the desk. He was thinking about 2 genin in particular, Uzumaki Naruto and Sasuke Uchiha. 5 years ago he wouldn't have believed that those 2 will ever find something in common that will make them allies. Now though they had so much in common, their desire, wishes, dreams, they are alike although not exactly the same. He sighed deeply, then he heard a faint voice, tuck, tuck every second. He sat straight in his chair. He knew who was the newcomer. A minute later the door opened and an old man with a can entered. Danzo, said the Hokage, his hands clutching the pipe. What news? Danzo sat down in front of him. I bear good news, Hiruzen. The young Jinchuriku from Kumo Yugito Ni has agreed to defect to us, although she had a condition: she won't be fighting against Kumo unless they will attack the village itself. He said, now not only Kumo won't have 2 Jinchuriku, but we will get a person to train our own Jinchuriku. He smiled a sadistic smile. Another thing, she said she has important info as well. Good, tell her that Anbu will meet her in the Land of Waves 3 weeks from today, said the Hokage. As you wish, Hiruzen, he replied with a bow and started to go out when the Hokage spoke again. Tell the operative with the contact to her to come as well. Danzo nodded and went out. Line. 1 day later. Naruto woke up with a big yawn. He looked at the watch and jumped up from his bed. The clock showed 12 o'clock and so he was really panicking. After all, he missed a big part of the orientation. He quickly dressed and went to the kitchen where he saw another clock showing 4 o'clock am. Now he was literally confused, but his confusion lasted less than a minute. Oh damn it, I forgot my bedroom clock is broken, he said to no one in particular. Oh well, if I am up might as well go training, he mused. After he ate ramen, of course, after all, just because he was a shinobi doesn't mean that ramen is not the food of gods, right? He went out to the Uchiha training field. For the past week after his alliance with Sasuke they started to train daily in the Uchiha private training field. As he was going in the village he looked at the empty streets with barely anyone around. He looked at the Hokage monument and saw the faces of the 3 deceased Hokages and of the one alive. They were looking at the village like guardian angels. As the sun raised upon the monument with the beautiful trees all around, Naruto couldn't stop being amazed by the beauty and peace of this place. I swear upon your names, I won't let anything happen to the village, he thought with determination. When he came near the gates of the Uchiha compound he was surprised to hear someone training. Obviously this someone was Sasuke, but still it was 4 o'clock. He entered the compound and went straight to the training field. When he saw Sasuke he called him, Oi Sasuke, isn't it a bit too early for training? Sasuke turned surprised. I can ask you the same question, Uzumaki, so don't be a hypocrite and come here already, he said with in a first glance indifferent tone. But those who knew him would be surprised on his unusual behavior. Okay Sasuke, we have 4 hours so let's do the most of it, he replied with a little grin. 3.5 hours later Sasuke was standing his back to a tree, a kunai in hand and a look of determination on his face. Meanwhile Naruto was in front of him also with a kunai. The next move will be critical to the outcome. Naruto charged ahead while Sasuke was standing still, waiting for his opponent to move first. When Naruto came close enough he jumped up and coming from the Uchiha's side gave him a hard kick on the side. Sasuke twisted and caught his leg, speeding forward and putting the kunai from behind to Naruto's throughout. Panting he said, I win this match, so how many? 3, 3, replied Naruto. Men, that was good. Alright Sasuke, I am going home to change, see you there, he said with a smile, running out of the compound. HN, of course. Naruto the Uchiha said to himself. 30 minutes later, the academy. Naruto opened the door of the classroom and went to his usual place. After sitting down, he took a little book with black cover. He looked around before he started to read. Some of the students were surprised. Not only was Naruto exactly on time, but he was reading. Well, that is a pleasant surprise. It seems as if Naruto did make it to here. But actually, why am I surprised? After all, it is Naruto, thought Hinata. Ino wasn't really sure what to think. It was weird to see Naruto all in black. Interesting, he wasn't in the exams, but he still has a headband. There is probably some good story behind it. Shikamaru was sleeping, so he didn't even sew him. Chochi was munching chips and Sakura was ogling Sasuke, who was looking bored and annoyed as ever. Kiba was talking to Akamaru about how weird that Naruto has a headband, and so on. Shino was his regular quiet self. Then someone caught Naruto's eye. Takeshi asked Naruto, weren't you a year below us? Takeshi smiled. I graduated a year early, he said. Who knows, maybe we will be on the same team. Naruto smiled at him and returned to his book, but before he was able to start reading, the door of the classroom opened and Iruka Amino entered. Alright class, he said, please calm down. Now let me tell you first how proud I am of each one of you. Remember, from this day on you are soldiers of the village. Remember it and be proud of it, and always remember the most important morals of our village. Do your best, always cherish your friends, and always put the village first before yourself. Now then, let's start with the team placement. He started to say the teams until he came to Team 6. Team 6, Takeshi Akiyama, Amy Fujishima and Hiroto Yoshida. Your Junin sensei is Naoto Abe. Team 7. Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno. At this, Sakura jumped from her place. Take this, Ino pig, true love always prevails. And Naruto Uzumaki finished. Iruka with annoyed voice. Your Junin sensei is Kakashi Hitaki. Team 8, Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inazaka and Shino Aburame. Your Junin sensei is Kurenai Yui. Team 9. Shikamaru Nara, Chochi Akamichi and Ino Yamanaka. Your Junin sensei is Asuma Sarutobi. Ino scowled. Why'd I get lazy Fui and big bones? She said. Stop interrupting, scowled Iruka. Come after lunch to meet your sensei. Dismissed, he said and left the room. Everyone got up and so did Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto turned to Sasuke with a smug smirk. So I was right, wasn't I? Now the question is, what do we do with Sakura? After all, she is head over heels for you and she only cares about how she looks for you, making her weak although smart. So what do you say? He asked. HN, who cares? She is weak, we have nothing to do with her, the Uchiha grumbled. Nope Sasuke, although she is weak, but she is a teammate and so you can't abandon her. And even if that wasn't the problem, still leaving her weak will not only slow us, as sensei will have to train her longer, but more if she will die. There is a chance, although not very big one, that we will be transferred into other teams, which means less training between us. As such, I think even you will agree that it's good to help her. And actually you can do it rather easy by telling her that you don't care how she looks because you don't care about such things. Easy, right? Said Naruto. The black hair boy thought for a moment. Sigh. I guess you're right, so that's exactly what I'll tell her. HN. They turned around and saw Sakura standing there, her eyes wide. 3 minutes earlier, after Iruka sensei left the class, Sakura got up and looked for Sasuke. When she saw him, she wanted to call him and ask him if he wants to go on a date, but then she saw Naruto talking to him. It looked strange, as instead of looking annoyed he looked interested. So she closed the distance between them when she heard Naruto talking. Question is, what do we do with Sakura? After all, she is head over heels for you and she only cares about how she looks for you, making her weak although smart. So what do you say? HN, who cares? She is weak, we have nothing to do with her, the Uchiha grumbled. Nope Sasuke, although she is weak, but she is a teammate and so you can't abandon her. And even if that wasn't the problem, still leaving her weak will not only slow us, as sensei will have to train her longer, but more if she will die. There is a chance, although not very big one, that we will be transferred into other teams, which means less training between us. As such, I think even you will agree that it's good to help her. And actually you can do it rather easy by telling her that you don't care how she looks because you don't care about such things. Easy, right? Said Naruto. When she heard that, she was surprised first that Naruto thought she was weak. After all, she was definitely stronger than him. Second, she was sure that her Sasuke-kun will tell him to get lost, but instead his answer was, I guess you're right, so that's exactly what I'll tell her. HN. At this point her eyes widened. Not only Sasuke was talking normally to the Dobi, but he was agreeing with him and about her. She didn't know what to say. At this point they both turned around and saw her. "Guess I won't have to tell her, huh, Uzumaki?" the Onyx Eyes boy said. "Oi, guess you're right," Naruto said with an embarrassed grin while scratching his head. He then turned to Sakura. "So if you heard everything, what do you say?" She became enraged. "Don't tell me what to do, dead last fool," she said, and tried to hit him like always, but unlike always he caught her hand. "You know, Sakura, you could at least try to be polite. After all, Uzumaki just offered you help. We're a team whether we like it or not is meaningless. I offer you help as well for our own benefit, so if you want to work as we should you should at least try to accept it," said Sasuke harshly, and it surprised himself. He didn't admit it, but the last week changed him a bit. Having someone strong with the same desire for power allied with him did feel good, and he became a bit protective of it. Sakura looked hurt. "Sorry," she said in a low voice. "I guess I will accept your help, Sasuke, thanks." Naruto smiled. "Hey, don't feel down. I don't think we are better than you. The only difference between us is that we trained when you didn't. I am sure that with the right training you'll be as good as we are," he said, "and in intelligence you have more than both of us, so I don't think you should feel down," he finished with a smile. Sakura looked surprised. After all, she just boldly ignored him, but he still tried to make her feel good. "Thanks, you too. I am sure we will work great together. If Sasuke admires strength, I will become strong," she thought in her mind, and she went to eat her lunch with new determination. 3 hours after lunch, Naruto was quietly reading his book while Sasuke was sitting sulking and thinking. Sakura, on the other hand, was walking back and forth in the classroom waiting for their sensei to arrive. "Where is he? It's not funny. We are waiting for 3 hours. What does he think? If he doesn't like the idea of being a sensei, he should have agreed to that," she exclaimed to no one in particular. After about another 10 minutes the door opened and into the room entered a man with a mask, his headband covering his left eye, and silver gravity deafing hair. "Yo," he said while lifting his hand in gritting. "Your team 7, right? You look a bit gloomy." "I am your sensei, Kakashi Hitaki. Well, don't you have anything to tell me?" he asked with an eye smile. When he looked at them he saw 3 pissed off children. "Yo to you to Kakashi sensei," said Naruto with a grumble. "You want me to tell you something? Then let me ask you what exactly the reason you are so late. And don't try to tell me that you lost yourself on the road of life," he continued with a growl. "Akira sensei told me that after the second time he smacked you so badly you prom not say it anymore, and if you are trying to pretend weak, don't, as I am well aware that you are an S-class shinobi. The only explanation I can find is that you don't like the idea of being a Junin sensei. But let me tell that to you now. I need to get stronger to defend my friends in the village. If because of you slacking we won't be trained well, I will go to the Hokage with this." His face was full of anger. Nothing of his usual goofiness was seen there right now. This short monologue surprised even Sasuke, although he agreed with every word, so he did nod his head. Sakura was really surprised. She didn't knew that side of Naruto at all. Kakashi was taken aback. That wasn't what he was expecting. "Seems I will have to stop playing around. All right. Okay, then meet me on the roof in 5 minutes, he quickly said and disappeared in a swirl of leaves. 5 minutes later, roof. The 3 genin walked through the door to the roof where Kakashi was sitting already reading from an orange book. When they entered he looked up and closed the book. "Alright then, now it's time for introductions. I'll go first. My name is Kakashi Hitaki. I like some things, I hate others. My dreams for the future are not of your concern." He smiled. "Now it is your turn." Sakura started. "My name is Haruno Sakura. I like a lot of things, but first and foremost Sasuke-kun. My dislikes are fools and Ino pig. Dreams for the future, I guess to be a good wife and a strong kunoichi," she said while looking at the Uchiha and giggled, blushing. Sasuke was the next. My name Uchiha Sasuke. I like training and power. My dislikes are traitors, weaklings and idiots. My dreams for the future. It's more like an ambition. I'll kill certain someone and will rebuild the Uchiha clan," he said. Sakura looked at him with awe. "Sasuke-kun is so cool." Naruto on the other hand looked a bit disappointed. "I hoped he will at least care about the village. Oh well, can't expect him to change so quickly." The blonde started first. "I have to say I am going to reveal a secret about myself, so please promise not to tell anyone, okay?" he asked. The 2 genin nodded. Kakashi started sweating a bit. "He is going to tell them about the fox. Is he crazy?" "Naruto, maybe you. No, Kakashi-sensei, they have the right to know before we start working together," said the blonde with determination. And although he showed a determined and confident front, inside he was a nerve-wrack. He took a deep breath and began to talk. Okay, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, my likes are training, the village, my friends and reading, my dislikes are fools, traitors, enemies of the village and people who judge others without knowing them first. My dreams to the future are one and only to defend the village and my friends. For this end I'll become strong, and if that means to be Hokage then so be it. As for my secret, sigh, I am the Jinchuriku of the Nine-Tails Fox. Land of Waves. Gato was walking back and forth in his office. He had a meeting with a shinobi and the shinobi was late. Damn shinobis, as if I don't have enough with those I already hired. Stupid shinobi, they always think they are better than us hard-working folk. A moment later he heard a knock on the door. Enter, he said. The door opened and a man with a dark skin and a dark blonde hair with eyes of a strange color, something between blue and black. His walk was as a no-nonsense person. Anyone who looked at him got the feeling not to trifle with him. The shinobi looked at Gato as if he was a trash. My name is Rokuro. I came with 3 chunin per your request, as I understand you wish us to protect you and kill a certain bridge builder in case your other shinobi will fail. Did I get it right? He asked with low monotone which brought shiver to the businessman's spine. Why yes, you've got it right, he said with a slight stutter. The shinobi smiled. All right, then we will settle in then, he said with a sweet smile and left the room. As he was exiting the room the light danced on his forehead protector, revealing a cloud sign on it. Konoha roof. Sasuke blinked at Naruto. So? He asked. What does it matters? Now it was Naruto's turn to blink. What do you mean, doesn't it disturb you? He asked in bewilderment. Not exactly, replied the Uchiha. After all, it's power, and who cares how you obtain it? Now I know that you will still be someone who I can train with and looked as an equal even after I'll activate my Sharingan. The stoic boy replied without interest. Sakura in the meantime was thinking about that. She understood that Naruto isn't a fox, but having something like that around could be scary and unsettling. Then she remembered Naruto's words, dislikes, and people who judge others without knowing them. She then remembered the looks Naruto was getting in the village, and she came to a decision. Naruto-san, I will not judge you before I know you, so she said, her voice full with determination. The blonde smiled. I couldn't ask for more. Thank you both, he said, his voice shaky and he barely held a tear. Kakashi was touched, but he had a job to do. All right, brats, I need to tell you something. You are not genin yet, he said, slowly readying himself for a barrage that came a second later. What? All of them? Even Sasuke exclaimed. What do you mean not genin? So why did we do this stupid test? So Sakura. Sasuke didn't say anything, but his face morphed into a scowl. Naruto on the other hand tried to keep himself calm, but he was angry. First he is late 3 hours and now this? So through gritted teeth he asks, what do you mean by that, Kakashi? Sensei? Struggling with himself not to burst with anger. Kakashi snike RD. Wow, calm down guys, it's the regular procedure after the exam in the academy. You're having a real one with your Junin sensei. I'll give you more details tomorrow, so come at 7 am at training field 7, he said, vanishing in a swirl of leaves. One day later, training field 7. The 3 genin was waiting for their sensei. He was already half-hour late and Naruto started being annoyed. He didn't have time for this. Fortunately he heard Kakashi coming from the forest. Yo. Sorry for being late, I had to help an old lady to cross the road, said the copycat ninja with an eye smile. Now I promise to give you more details, so let me explain. Today you will have an exam which will include taking these bells from me, he said, showing them 3 bells. Now this exam has 66% of failure. Those of you who will fail will be sanded back to the academy. Any questions? They shook their heads. Good, you have 3 hours, begin. Before they jumped, Sakura motioned them to come with her. Naruto complied, and because of it Sasuke chose to do so too. What is it, Sakura? Asked the blonde. We need to work together. If we won't be able to take him. He is a Junin after all, she said. Sasuke frowned. She has a point, so we should work together. Naruto's eyes widened with surprise. He would never have expected Sasuke to agree. All right then, let's start, said Naruto. Kakashi was standing in the middle of the field, and so the 3 of them going to the same side. Basic teamwork is not a problem, but that to be expected. It's good that the test is different from the regular, he smirked. Then he saw Naruto coming out of the woods, slowly going towards him. The Junin frowned. He felt that something is wrong here. He jumped back, taking some distance. At that moment Naruto ran forward. While taking out a kunai, running, he started to attack the Junin. Right, left, right, middle, trying to no avail to get Kakashi. Obviously Kakashi was able to avoid any of them. I expected more of him, but he is fighting like an idiot." Then Naruto suddenly burst in speed, coming to Kakashi's side, thrusting the kunai forward. The masked Junin just ducked and punched the blonde, but instead of sending him flying, the genin became water. Clone Ha didn't expect that. Doesn't actually meters. A moment later, Sasuke came running at him in a full speed. Kakashi moved to the left, catching the Uchiha's hand and sending him flying. Sasuke made a flip in the air and attacked again. As he ran forward, he ran to Kakashi's right side and attacked with a roundhouse kick to the ribs, but was blocked easily. As Kakashi blocked Sasuke's attack, he heard several kunais flying towards him, so he flipped back and found himself in the puddle of water which was left from the water clone. Suddenly he heard water style. Water spikes, as from the water under him several spikes came out and tried to rip him, so he replaced himself with a log. Then he smiled. It was time for the exam to truly begin. He ran towards Sakura in a rather high speed, all the while dodging shurikens and kunai. As he came close, she threw some kunai with tags all around. Boobit didn't ignite, then a trap then. Good thinking, but I learned my lesson with explosions, he thought. He jumped above her, coming from behind and giving her a strike in the back. The girl was unable to dodge and got hit and was sanded several feet forward. A second later, Kakashi had to jump up to dodge a fireball and a water blast. Well, he did knew Naruto abilities, but he didn't knew Sasuke could use the fireball technique. As he saw the other two genin coming closer, he made several hand signs and vanished into the earth. Sasuke and Naruto ran towards each other. Where did he go? He isn't around us. So where? He was here a second ago, said Naruto. Sasuke looked around then he heard a voice behind, looking for little old me. How nice of you. He saw Kakashi standing there and started to lash at him with a punch to the face. Sasuke, behind you. Naruto called his ally, as from behind him another Kakashi came from under the earth. He put his hands together with two fingers straight in each hand, Konoha's secret technique, 1000 years of pain, and he thrust his fingers into the Uchiha's butt, which made Sasuke fly forward and slam head first in a tree. Naruto looked at his ally's demise and anime tears started to flow from his eyes. He turned to Kakashi with blood in his eyes. You damn pervert, I'll teach you some good manners, he yelled, and ran at the laughing Junin and engaged him in a taijutsu combat. First he moved forward and kicked Kakashi in the stomach, which the older man blocked, but Naruto flipped with his motion and tried to swipe his opponent legs from under him. Kakashi just jumped and came from Naruto's other side and kicked him in the ribs. Then while Naruto was flying, he came from above and wanted to kick him to the ground, but then a kunai with a tag flew towards him. As he was in air, he made another replacement jutsu, effectively avoiding the explosion, which throwed Naruto to the side. Sakura bit her lip. She miscalculated and her kunai did the opposite of what she intended. She knew alone she can't do anything, but she still had her trap. If she will be able to guide Kakashi there, then she will have a chance to obtain a bell. She ran around some trees and throwing a shuriken, she got Kakashi's attention. She ran towards where her trap lay and was able to pass it. Kakashi saw what Sakura was doing and he found it as an opportunity to finish the last part of the exam. He ran after her, letting her pass first and hide. Then he made some hand signs, earth release, hiding like a mole technique. He vanished and emerged right in the middle of the trap. Sakura smiled to herself. Release, she said. While doing the ram hand sign, a big explosion happened and most of the trees around this area were now nothing more than a pile of ash. Thanks to the smoke she couldn't see a thing, but when it cleared she didn't see her sensei. She really hoped he is okay. He probably substituted himself. Then she saw something metallic glowing there. It was a bell. She ran forward, then halted. That could easily be a trap. After a moment of surveying the area, she concluded that it must be fell from Kakashi, as he used the substitution jutsu. But to be safe, she made a somersault and while in the air snatched the bell. Nothing was happened. She smiled to herself. Yes, I've done it. I have a bell, she thought with excitement. Sasuke. Sasuke got up after the impact. It took him several seconds to clear his mind. Their tactics didn't work and now he will be sent back to the academy. Damn it, he yelled and fell to the ground. Then he felt something dingle as he sat down. He checked and found a bell on the forest floor. Strange, must be fallen to sensei during the attack. Damn it, this isn't how I wanted to get it. Oh well, it's better than nothing, he thought with a frown. Well, if it'll help them get a bell, then it won't feel as if I didn't earn it, he thought. Kakashi, he was standing on a tree branch now. Then the test is set, now left only to see it. He smirked under the mask. Naruto, he got up, his body was in pain. He looked at the watch and so he had less than 30 minutes. He ran around looking for Kakashi and the bell, then he saw him sitting on the ground reading an orange book. He chose to try to sneak. He made 2 water clones and commanded them to attack using explosive kunai. As he moved forward slowly, letting his clones to attack as they threw the kunai at Kakashi, they ran forward attacking Kakashi from the flanks. Kakashi rolled under the kunai barrage and attacked the clones with a kunai of his own, leaving a puddle of water. This time he was careful not to step into the puddle, but he came near it looking for the blonde. Suddenly the water morphed into Naruto, who tried to snatch the bell, but Kakashi rolled to the side avoiding the hand. But before he was able to get up, another barrage of shuriken was thrown at him, and while dodging it wasn't very hard alone, but from the other side Sasuke came in with a down kick, kicked Kakashi, who had to jump back but was met with Naruto, who kicked him in the back, flipping and punching in the face. Kakashi smiled. The test was going well. He blocked the blonde's attempt and catching Naruto's hand pulled him towards him, kneeing him in the gut, taking all the air out of him. Air flipping, he made an air roll and with straighting his leg using the momentum of the flip and roll attacked Sasuke, who barely avoided it thanks to Sakura's warning. A number of water pellets flew toward him, but he caught the pink tea, who came closer as she used all of her projectiles and throw her in the pellets' direction, which blown her away. Before any other action could be taken, the alarm ringed. Well, that it, children, let's go have lunch. 5 minutes later. They were sitting down in a circle except Naruto, who was bound to a log. Kakashi was eating, but the 2 genins didn't. Listen kids, you've done well. You were able to acquire a bell, and because of this I'll let Naruto to try again after lunch, but none of you will give him food, understand? He asked with a stern tone. They nodded and he left. After that Sasuke looked at Naruto. He saw the boy was in bad mood. More than that, his stomach was growling. Alright Uzumaki, take some of my food. After all, I didn't do better than you, it was sheer luck, he said, giving the blonde some of his food. As Sakura saw it, she gave Naruto some of hers as well. He tried to tell them not to, as it will only make Kakashi angry, but Sakura was firm about it. You are our teammate. Did you already forget what Iruka-sensei told us? She said, remembering how he defended her in front of Sasuke yesterday. Naruto smiled. Thanks guys, he said with gratitude. A minute later Kakashi returned, anger visible on his face. Didn't I told you specifically not to feed him? As you disobeyed my orders, you all pass, he finished with a big smile. They looked at him in bewilderment. The Junin started to laugh. Ha. Ha. Oh my, the expression on your faces is priceless. He breathed deeply. Let me explain. You see, the entire point of this test was to check your teamwork. Usually I would give only 2 bells, making you believe only 2 of you will pass. But because of the alliance the 2 boys made, and because you Sakura will do whatever Sasuke will say, I thought that giving 2 of you bells and then see if you help your teammates who didn't get one will show your teamwork better. Hence I passed you, as not only did you help but you also disobeyed orders to help him. As such you've learned the most important moral of our village. Those who abandon their mission is trash, but those who abandon their friends are worse than trash. He finished with a smile. Thanks for watching.